414-699-7729. That's 414-699-7729. Or visit them on the web at hdmediagrp.com. HD Graphic and Print. Let them make your next event a memorable one. It's HD Graphic Design and Print, where they provide...
What's up?
Why am I hearing an echo?
Because
make sure
it's the Soul of the City Gospel Radio Show. Good afternoon to you, Milwaukee and the world. This is your gospel hostess, Sister Soraya, and who that be over there?
It will be me, Brother Dennis Walton.
All right, Happy New Year.
It is a Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
Yes.
2022.
Happy New Year's.
God has so much in store for you, Dennis.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he does. And you out there. Thank you all so much for tuning in with us. Another edition, the first show of the year, 2022. Gospel time now, 2 minutes after the hour of 12 o'clock p.m. We have so much in store for you today. So much to talk about. So much has happened a lot over the weekend, both on a local level and a national level. So we have so much to talk about. So again, you can chime in with us at 414-435-1040, 414-435-1040. And you can log on to YouTube and you can type in Soul of the City Gospel Radio Show. That's Soul of the City Gospel Radio Show. We are on live on our Facebook page. Become our friend there at facebook.com and type in HD Higher Dimension Radio. And you can also, Dennis, don't forget, download that app, that good old app, that free app. Download it today. HD Radio Online.
Once I said this is, you're supposed to pass it to me.
I'm sorry.
Said HD Radio.
All right, let's start it over. All right, so don't forget.
You gotta get flow,
you know what? I'm just excited to be here.
Easy.
All right, let's start over. Hush, Dennis, hush. Don't forget to download that app. You don't know what you're doing. You ain't ready.
HD
you
Radio,
ain't ready.
right.
He ain't ready, y'all.
One word.
I'm sorry, he's not ready, y'all.
Anyways, HD Radio Online.
Let's try one more time.
Come on, do
all
it
right. Hey, y'all, don't forget to download that app.
HD Radio Online. One word.
It's free. You can't go wrong with free, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, thank you all so much for being back with us. And again, hey, Dennis.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, because we didn't get a white Christmas, what did you say to the snow yesterday? I think Kenosha got about 8 inches yesterday or over the weekend. And we were blessed to not get 8 inches. I believe we got roughly about 3 to 4 inches, if I'm not, I'm not mistaken.
I'm cool.
But yeah,
I'm cool.
I have nothing to complain about.
Yeah, with the little snow that we had.
Yeah.
I mean, it was coming down pretty steadily, though. What was that?
Yesterday?
On New Year's Eve.
Friday?
No, that's Saturday, I mean.
Yes, Saturday.
On New Year's Day.
Okay, New Year's Day.
So
okay.
it was coming down pretty steady.
Mm-hmm.
And, but, I mean, that's what it does, man. Come on with it.
Please.
And look, I'm really from around here.
Be careful what you ask for now.
I'm really from around here.
Be careful what you ask for.
I just keep my long underwear on.
Make sure they clean, okay?
Keep my boots on.
Make sure they clean, okay?
Don't go there. It's a new year.
24 degrees here in the mill with bright sunshine and clear and cold front start to the morning with temperatures in the single digits and wind chills below 0. But thankfully, we'll warm up tomorrow. Y'all supposed to be 36 degrees tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a heat wave.
You know, somebody always say, oh my God, what's going to be today? You know what? I just wake up, tell God thank you, and get ready to face the day.
And when you get on the mic, you just don't stop talking. You just go and go and go, and you don't give me no opportunity to speak. Dang. Slow down, G.
It's a new year. You're going to make me sing. You know that, right?
Slow down, G.
It's a new year. It's a new day. I'm not about to deal with Dennis Walton today, okay? I'm just telling y'all.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have a good day today.
We're going to have a great day.
All right, a great day. All right, we'll be here till 3 o'clock p.m. today. Again, feel free to chime in with us. You can phone us at 414-435-1040. 414-435-1040. Now, on a sadder note, Dennis, On Milwaukee, in Milwaukee on New Year's Day, we know that there was 9 injured and 1 person died, including the young boy.
Really?
Yes.
Where did the person die at?
All right, here we go. You ready for this whole lineup?
All right, we're gonna get into it.
We're gonna get into it. We're about to get into it. Okay, okay, you using martial words. I'm about to get into it. Ain't no finna get into it. We're about to get into it.
We're about to get into it.
All right, so the Milwaukee Police Department is investigating at least 5 separate shootings that happened on New Year's Day. Now, 1 person was killed and 4 were wounded in the shootings, including a 9-year-old boy. Sherman and Flores. Around 12:10 a.m., a 9-year-old boy was shot and taken to the hospital.
You said at what time?
At 12:10 a.m. A 9-year-old boy was shot and taken to the hospital. This was on Sherman and Flores.
Mm-hmm.
He is expected to survive, thank God.
So this is right on New Year's Day.
Right on New Year's Day. All right. The suspect has been identified, they said. Also, on 49th and Villard, a 29-year-old man was shot around 12:30 a.m. and taken to the hospital.
From 12:10 to 12:30. This right when they start shooting.
Right. This is it right here. 20th and Locust, 1:15 a.m. A 40-year-old man was shot and pronounced dead at the scene after an argument unfolded.
Jesus.
Okay.
1:15 in the morning on New Year's.
62nd and Bobolink. Police said 23-year-old man was shot around 2:45 a.m.
So you went from 12:10 to 12:30 to 1:10 to now 2:45.
2:45.
Every different. That's crazy.
Crazy, yeah. And taken to the hospital. There he was treated for serious injuries, and police are still seeking unknown suspects.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Wisconsin and Plankinton, around 7 a.m. They gave him a break, right? Still shooting. A 33-year-old Milwaukee man was shot and taken to the hospital for treatment of non-fatal injuries.
Oh, Plankinton?
Wisconsin and Plankinton, yeah. The shooting was a result of an argument, and a 30-year-old woman, a 30-year-old Milwaukee man was arrested and criminal charges would be referred to the DA's office. All right. 46 in Locust, around 1 p.m. A 21-year-old Milwaukee man was shot and arrived at a hospital for treatment. And the circumstances leading up to the shooting are still being investigated. 26 in Roosevelt.
Okay, go back to the last one. What time was that again?
1 p.m.
Jeez.
Broad daylight.
They just going crazy. They just start the new year off shooting that many people.
Yeah.
Gosh.
8 p.m. 26 in Roosevelt. The victim was outside when shots were fired and was struck.
This is at 8 p.m.
8 p.m. The victim, a 38-year-old Milwaukee man, sustained non-fatal injuries and, of course, was transported to a local hospital for treatment. 42nd and Capitol, police say several individuals were involved in an argument when shots were fired just after 11 p.m.
Jeez.
A 25-year-old Milwaukee woman sustained life-threatening injuries. She was transported to a hospital for treatment and is in critical condition. A 37-year-old Milwaukee man sustained life-threatening injuries as well, and he's in critical condition. And a 26-year-old Illinois man sustained life-threatening injuries, and he is reported to be in stable condition.
So that's all of them?
That's all of them.
Jeez.
So far.
That many people got shot?
So far.
Oh my
We've
God.
started off on a bad foot.
Look.
Already.
No, we haven't. Somebody else. Some people have started out on a bad note. I'm not claiming they bad.
Oh my God.
I started out on a good note. I ain't got nothing to do with all of that.
It's sad.
Jesus.
Now, last year, and I was watching the news last night, and they said last year was over 220 homicides.
That's how many people. That's high.
That's very high.
So we exceeded
last
year.
Year before that too. Yeah.
Wow.
220 homicides.
Wow. I mean.
Yeah.
So you want to know what I have to say about it?
It's unacceptable.
It's definitely unacceptable.
It is.
Okay. And it's like.
Oh my God.
Who do you? Going back to what we always had this conversation.
This will forever be the conversation again.
Who's held accountable and who's responsible for the lives lost at this rate in a community?
Yes.
Who do you hold responsible? Why are these circumstances like this?
Mm-hmm.
What's causing all of this violence?
Yeah.
And why aren't there individuals who are commissioned or assigned to address the problem?
Mm-hmm.
Which there are people who are commissioned and assigned to address the problem. And it's people who actually get paid to prevent. We got a whole Office of Violence Prevention.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know,
that's what I'm thinking.
And I would like to see, like, what are they doing, or what is their efforts?
What are they not doing?
You know, what do they have to say about 220 people being murdered in the city of Milwaukee, and that being one of the highest rates of you know, just murder within a year's time? You know, what type of dollars have come through that office?
Very true.
What is their evaluation of the circumstance and the situation? And what have they done or not done, being the Office of Violence Prevention, to stop 220 people from dying in our community, right? Yeah. And I'm just using them just because that's the first thing that pops out in my head.
Yeah.
But you have a whole administration of people.
That's right.
You know, all across the board. And what is it that causes violence? You know, you have mental health issues that cause violence. You have poverty that causes violence. You have a lack of gun safety and literacy that causes violence. You can just go on and on and on with the issues that cause violence in our community. Yeah. And why aren't we being specific about addressing what those issues are so that we can change the circumstance? But when you look at our community and you look at how desolate it is just throughout the city of Milwaukee, right? It just feels down. It just feels drained. It just feels like the life has just been sucked out of the city, and that there's not a high vibration. It's a low vibration.
Heavyweight.
And I always say, you know, if you live in an environment that looks like it's not healthy, then it's, you know, if this is what you're seeing, if you're seeing rundown houses, potholes in the streets, abandoned houses, garbage, trash
everywhere,
you know, everywhere. You see people just run through red lights and just disobey safety and laws, just lawlessness everywhere.
Very true.
Then what kind of mindset or what kind of motivation are you going to have to be better or to do better in your community if this is all that you see? How does this inspire the children to want to go be doctors and lawyers and scientists and somebody great when they're seeing nothing but you know, this level of poverty and violence in the community, right? Yeah. How do we get to a point where in our neighborhood, you know, all the houses are run down, you see vacant lots and everything, you see illegal dumping everywhere throughout these communities? That doesn't inspire a feeling of hope and of gratefulness and say, hey, you know, I think I want to go out here and be a better person to my neighbor. Right. So it doesn't inspire a positive look on life.
Very true.
But when you go downtown, I mean, you just see it so vibrant.
Even when you go downtown, or even the opposite way, Wauwatosa.
But I'm just using downtown because downtown is like literally 5 minutes away. Right. From our neighborhood.
It's very beautiful down there.
From where we live. Yeah. Downtown is literally like 5 minutes away. Right. So you can be you can be where in our community, because I live in 53206, you live in 53206 or just on the outskirts, right? Zip code 53206?
Yeah.
Okay, we live in the 53206. Which has the highest rate of incarceration for Black people, has some of the highest rates of poverty, violence, you name it. When it comes to the negative statistics, our zip code represents that throughout the nation, right?
Yes, it does.
But then you can literally go 5 minutes away and you can see billions of dollars worth of investment.
That's true.
You can see. Very true. It's all lit up. It's all beautiful. Yes. You see new buildings coming up. Yeah. You see people running and jogging and being happy. That's you know, and they're motivated.
Look, don't jog through here. I'm trying to tell you.
If you see somebody jogging through here, it's at a high rate of speed.
Or they're running from somebody. They don't rob somebody, but don't run through this way. I mean, you know, all seriousness, but still. So, I get it. Yeah.
Here we go. We just started the new year out. We just started the new year out with 9 shootings already and 1 murder. Just off the top.
Day one. They won.
But again,
Yeah.
now I went downtown. I saw that they just redone the Grand Avenue Mall. It looks absolutely beautiful on the outside.
Okay,
It's
okay.
called Third Street Market. Did you see it's all lit up and all?
I have
beautiful?
not been downtown.
They're redoing the convention center. I think they got like
okay
some hundreds of millions
Yeah.
to redo the convention center. Because remember what we was talking about it when I was on the campaign? It was like it's a whole lot of money they got.
Yes.
It's over 100 million.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of. I'm gonna get the exact number. I'll be specific, but they're investing into renovating the convention center, which I never really seen them do anything with it, anyways, right?
Right.
But if you just go all through downtown and you look at all of the new buildings and condos that are coming up, the level of investment that's going on 5 minutes away from our neighborhood,
walking distance,
that has the highest rate of illness and negative instances in the nation, where we're looked at as the worst place to raise an African American family in the inner city of Milwaukee or in the city of Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you leverage them same billions of dollars and go 5 minutes away to where you have the highest rate of everything negative in the nation and say, hey, we need to put $500 million or $1 billion into this area to revitalize and to regenerate this area. We need to stimulate the residential area and beautify it and rebuild the properties in that area so that the neighborhood looks good. And then we need to encourage and inspire business, because you can't have a strong business community without a strong residential community, or a strong residential without, they both go hand in hand. So we know that if you put a strong residential base into our community and revitalize that, it's going to stimulate a strong business base. And it changes the dynamics of a community, because all you got to do is just look exactly what they're doing downtown. But we got to sit here and look at the worst of the worst when it comes to our neighborhood and all this poverty and crime.
And look, and you asking why?
And I'm saying, why can't, my point is, and I'm going to get off my rant.
Okay.
My point is that who's responsible for the level of sickness and illness that is happening in our community, the level of poverty and crime that's happening in our community, and what do you do to address those issues? And there are very specific strategic things you can do to revitalize and change the dynamics of a neighborhood exactly the way that they just did downtown.
Well,
that's all my point is.
We have acting mayor.
Acting
Dennis. Be nice. Be nice.
Acting mayor.
Be nice.
The mayor was an acting mayor.
Be nice. Be really nice.
Don't even get me on him.
Be kind.
Look, you sitting here, you in office for 18 years.
Dennis, okay.
Hold on. No, now you got me started. You got me in. You've been in office for 18 years.
We all know that.
And then you're gonna go become the ambassador of Ireland and leave the city of Milwaukee in the most desolate, worst place after y'all had bankrupt the city, drained all the resources out the city. You got our community just looking it's just ridiculous at the level of sickness and illness and crime and poverty that's going on in the city of Milwaukee. And now you just gonna bow out and go to Ireland and become the ambassador. And then
he feel his mission has been accomplished.
Yeah, he done sucked all the resources out the city.
I get it.
Drained the city.
I get it.
Bankrupted the city.
Somebody tell Dennis to breathe.
Jesus, man.
Breathe.
I mean, but
it's
we got
okay.
people that we care about here, that we love.
And it's very important. But look, so your acting mayor said, well, in the near future, he said, I will. You talking about holding someone accountable. I will finalize Milwaukee's new public safety and violence reduction plan. All right. It will include prevention, intervention, and accountability for those perpetuating violence.
Come on, man.
We got to hold him to his word. We're going to hold him to his word, hold his feet to the fire. All right. Okay, Dennis. I know and you know.
Okay.
It's okay.
I'm hearing an echo.
Are you all right? Echo? A little bit. But I think we can be heard though.
Yeah, I hope that's not coming across.
But, no, it's not. All right.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
So okay.
So as we see, our city is in trouble. We are in trouble.
I think there's some issues that we're challenged with.
Yeah.
And again, where I'm very passionate about what it looks like.
Yeah.
What we need to do or what we can do to address it.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I'm not gonna sit here is let nobody play around in my face and keep on lying to me, talking about they got violence reduction plans and all this kind of stuff.
That should have been in
It don't even make sense because you're the Common Council president. Why would you all of a sudden now have a plan to reduce violence and to address safety in the community when you've been the Common Council president for the last few years? Why wouldn't you step up?
What would it take to take acting?
Why now that you're running for mayor, now you have a plan?
Yeah.
But while you sit here watching people die and fall by the wayside, you sitting here desolate, and dormant, and a mute. You ain't saying one thing, but you the president of the Common Council. When you start seeing lives being lost, you're supposed to step up then and intervene. You don't wait till it's time for you to run for office, and now all of a sudden you have a plan.
Yeah.
So quit playing in my face.
Right.
You know, all of a sudden now you have a plan to get things done. If you had a plan to get things done, they should have been done already, not 220 homicides later. Yeah, let's get started.
Yeah, that's
this
crazy.
Is not how you start the new year.
That's crazy.
So that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Like I said, hopefully if anybody does have a realistic plan, it'll be something that improves the community. But you're not gonna sit here and play in my face and play around with me like, oh, now all of a sudden you have a plan. 220 homicides later. You sit here allowing people to die, and now all of a sudden, why you didn't present this plan last year or the year before last? Why all of a sudden now you care about people? You're not going to play in my face.
That question has been is left unanswered right now, Dennis. Okay.
You're not going to play around in my face.
22 minutes after the hour of 12 o'clock p.m. In other news, all Milwaukee public schools will transition to virtual learning tomorrow due to COVID-19.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. So
all right.
We're going back into the shutdowns. Pretty
much, yeah. It says that they presented a statement saying, of course, virtual learning will begin on tomorrow. MPS was scheduled to resume in-person learning on tomorrow, but due to an influx of reported positive COVID-19 cases among district staff, this emergency safety measure is being implemented. So all district staff that are not in quarantine in accordance with MPS COVID-19 protocol are expected to report to their work location. Now, MPS will also continue providing expanded COVID-19 testing opportunities for MPS students and staff today at 6 MPS locations from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m. tonight. And when in-person learning resumes, testing will continue to be available for students and staff at each school location.
Okay.
So, and the district's goal is to resume in-person learning on Monday, January 10th. And whatever updates they have, they will provide that when that becomes available.
And again, here we go with the lockdowns that are going to be taking place.
It's on its way.
It's on its way.
It's on its way.
You know, this COVID thing is out of control.
And you know what?
It's out of control.
It's out of control. And you know, my question has always been, and it's like, I'm very concerned. God bless you, Bishop Thomas Melton. Thank you for tuning in. Why is everyone catching COVID at the same time?
Dude, because that's what it's designed to do.
Same, Dennis, literally the same time.
Well, I mean, it's just like when people get this, the COVID is nothing but the flu. It's just a stronger strain.
I can't have allergies. I can't have sniffles. I can't have a sneeze. Everything is COVID.
It's just a stronger strain of
flu.
That's all it is. So just like when you would catch a cold before COVID, pre-COVID, you catch a cold. Yeah. Now you just catch COVID. There's no cold. So everybody gets sick this time of the year anyway, but this is a natural thing for people to get sick, or for their, people's immune systems to go through a transition when the weather is like this. That's a natural thing. This happens every year. Yeah. Now it's just that they've eliminated it being the common cold.
And just label that you have COVID.
It's just all COVID.
All COVID.
So people getting sick is a natural thing. You don't want to, that's what you have to take it to. Yeah. You have to be reasonably intelligent about it.
Right.
People's health declines in the winter time. Okay. we know people catch a cold. Now, everyone's getting sick and they just say it's automatically COVID. Most people, what are they doing when they catch COVID? COVID, cold, COVID. What are tomatoes, tomatoes? It's all the same thing, right? But when people catch COVID, what do they tell you to do?
Quarantine.
Go home. They don't
Go
tell
home
you
and quarantine.
go home and quarantine.
Yeah.
Just like when you catch a cold, what do?
Quarantine.
Come on, man.
I doctor on my. Let me tell you.
Just think about how many people died from the flu.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people every year being in the hospital sick.
That's true, right?
This is no different.
I'm telling you, when I feel it coming down, I refuse.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to tell you, I refuse to get sick.
But they have just totally disrupted our whole life.
Yeah, and place that type of fear, like, oh, you know.
So let me go back. Let's go back to what you were talking about with the children.
Okay.
And let's talk about how tragic that is.
Yeah.
Right. Now, our children have been out of school for like the last 2 years dealing with COVID.
In and out.
In and out.
In and out. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Man, they are destroying our youth right now with the way that they are mishandling their education.
The education, yeah. Mm-hmm.
First of all, our children are already challenged with education because they have so many distractions within their environments and within their communities anyways. School has always been a safe haven for children to escape their home issues or their problems and to, you know, get away from their parents and go into another environment and be cared for and be socialized and to be amongst their friends and to be amongst instructors and teachers and counselors and principals who instill different values in them to help them to learn, to grow through sports, through athletics, through academics. It's always been an environment to take away or lessen some of the burdens or troubles that you may be dealing with at home, and you go to school and you find yourself. You find yourself through your peers. You find yourself through different instructors who inspire you to tell you that you're somebody. You know, you learn that you're good at English or math or whatever in school, right? Now, we already had a decline in what education looks like in the city of Milwaukee. You know, the graduation numbers and all of that have fluctuated all throughout the board, and we know our children are the most challenged. Now, the last 2 years, 3 years, what is it, 3 years now or 2 years?
It's been 2 years.
2 years that we've been sitting here playing with these children's education, pulling them in school, taking them out of school, pulling them in school, keeping them out of school, got them online learning. The kids, I'm talking to the young people, they hate school. They hate going online.
That's right.
You know, they can't focus with just being online and taking a couple tests.
And for that reason, some have failed. Some have failed. Some have dropped out. Some don't go. Some don't log in. And when they do log in, they're not paying attention. So it's a lot of.
The attendance rate has dropped so far
tremendously.
So look, the attendance rate has dropped to a rate of an all-time low.
Absolutely.
Our children are being. What's happening to our children? They're being destroyed because they're not being properly stimulated with education. So if you're a young person and you're not being properly educated or you're not being stimulated or motivated through school, then you're just left to the streets. And then we're already dealing with the highest statistics of poverty, crime, and violence, and all kinds of distractions that the children are already challenged with in the first place. But then you take away and decimate what education looks like for them. Okay, so now what does that leave us? Now we have all of these children who are uneducated, who are not being stimulated with anything positive, who are just in the streets, left
without a choice. They're
left to their own demise. They're left to figure out things on their own, right? So what do you think is going to happen? More poverty, more crime, more tragic situations, more speeding down the street, more car accidents. So you got to look at how all of this stuff is really affecting our community in the worst way. It's not just that they're going back to school or they're shutting the doors down and they're going back to online school. No, it's a consequence behind that that we need to look at. And the reason why I'm saying it, because this is going to be we can go back later on in time. We can go back and we can say Dennis Walter said this, and he was right.
See, but just going back then, let's just walk back in time just briefly. When COVID all first hit, when it all first hit, it was like it just came down like one big whop, like it was bombarded on our children. Like, you gotta do virtual learning.
It was a bombardment on the whole community.
I mean, on the whole community, but I'm talking about our children right now, in terms of, you have to sit in front of a computer all day.
Yeah.
All day long,
Right.
listen to your teachers. You got to make sure you are being attentive. I mean, they had to kind of redirect their mindset.
Yeah, I mean, but what you're doing is you're changing. I think you're absolutely right. They're redirecting the mindset.
Yes,
they're pushing our children into.
Mm-hmm.
They're pushing the whole world into a new mindset.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everything is online.
Everything is online.
Everything is digital.
Yes. Yeah.
There is no personable interaction between human beings where, our socialization style is totally different now. Now it's all online. It's through Zoom.
Yes.
And people don't have that. We're not getting that intimate connection with people that we've used to have, which is a natural part of us socializing ourselves.
It's no longer normal.
that's not there no more.
Right.
But then you look at the burden that this is putting on families.
Yes.
Because just like children are able to utilize school as an escape.
That's right.
To grow
for the day,
to develop themselves
for the day. Yeah.
It's also an escape for the parents who have to go to work, who have to do things, to provide for the children outside of the children being present.
Yeah.
It gives the parent that break to do the things that they need to do.
Major change.
To provide for the family as well.
True. Yeah.
So now your children are at home all day long.
Major
doing
change.
Virtual learning.
Yeah.
You can't just leave a child at home all day.
That's right.
If you leave, when I was a kid, if I was left at home all day,
you wouldn't do nothing.
No, I'd be doing all the wrong things.
Right.
We're gonna figure out
nothing
something
other than right.
We digging in stuff, we finding stuff we shouldn't be finding.
That's right.
We coming up with every kind of mischievous thing to stay stimulated that you could imagine when you were a child.
Yeah.
So now these parents can't even go to work. If they do go to work, they got to sit here and be overly concerned about who's at home with their children, what the children are doing.
That's
this virtual learning is
doing
more than just, okay, now the kids going back to going to school online. All schools are like that.
And I've asked, even some of my nieces and nephews, how do you like that virtual learning? I don't like it. I don't like, so. Yeah.
But what is it doing? Like you said, it's just changing the mindset of our young people.
It is, and it did. Yeah.
To think more digitally,
That's
or
right.
to communicate more digitally,
right?
And pushing the world to communicate in a digital form.
That's
what the whole COVID is about.
True,
it's resetting the way that our society operates.
That's very true.
And we still haven't even identified the source of where COVID has come from. And we still haven't held anybody accountable to releasing a virus into our community that has destroyed the world as we know it,
Lord,
and reset our whole mode of operation. Not only that, but this is not going to stop. They're going to run this COVID thing all the way through to the 2024 elections, and they're going to use it as a tactic of fear and control to try to drive you to the polls to make you vote a certain kind of way. That's the facts. That's what all this is about. Is to disrupt your life, to distract you, and to have you so confused that you don't know which way is up, which way is down, which way is left or which way is right. And then now people are going to come into your face and play around with you because it's election time.
And saying, I can do this and I can do that. And they're going to
say, I have a safety plan because you've been beat down so bad and broken down so bad in your community.
Let me tell you.
That you're just waiting for anybody to emerge that can say,
I don't want to be disappointed again.
But again, how many times do we have to be lied to over and over again?
Yeah.
How bad does it have to be? How demoralized do we have to be as a people in this community to keep letting the same person come in your face and lie to you, and every time they lie to you, you believe the lie? because you so broken down that long as they lying to you, if it sounds good, you
Not
gonna
me.
move forward with it.
Not me, because I don't even know who half them people is on the ballot.
Yeah, right. But they are. You don't even know them, but they gonna come lie to you.
Absolutely.
They gonna be smiling and cheesing in your face. You gonna be like, yeah,
who are you?
I think he.
Who are you?
I think he's saying all the right things.
I think so, all the right things.
But
And
what about their actions?
And now I have 9 people that shot and shot and one dead.
But not only that though, but the way that it's building up.
Yeah.
Like I said, you got everybody that's great step out here and run for mayor and run for these positions in this community. But they've allowed the situation to get to the point where it's at to where people so beat down and broke down, and people are so distracted with the issues that are going on in this community, that they can't even. I mean, people need help. So now,
that's true.
With all of the situations that are happening, when we get into the springtime, in Milwaukee, when the weather improves and people have just been lied to over and over again, there's no real relief that's coming through for safety, for protection, for economic development. It's all a plan that never fulfills itself.
Never.
What do you think is going to happen when it turn back to 65, 70, 85 degrees out here?
It's going to get worse. The reality of it is it's going to get worse.
I mean, it's going to be it's going to be just ridiculous. Let's just put it like that. So y'all better get ready to get lied to, or be lied to by all these people that's going to be playing around in your face. And while they playing around in your face, your people going to be overdosing on drugs. Your children going to be distracted and not getting properly educated. People going to be continuing to get ran over in the street with these cars. Violence is going to continue to climb at an all-time high. All of these things are going to continue to happen while these people going to play around in your face and tell you, vote for me.
All right, speaking of violence, again, we are praying for, in other news, we're praying for the 16-year-old young lady, her family. The 16-year-old that was shot and killed on last night near 51st and Capitol. It happened around 10:25 p.m. last night. All right, she sustained life-threatening injuries, and she was transported to the hospital where she was later pronounced dead. So we're praying for her family. And the circumstances leading up to the shooting appear to be related to a business robbery.
So this is the second murder?
Yes. Business robbery and are still under investigation.
What's the second murder?
This is the
third. What was yesterday?
Yesterday was the second. The second murder on the second.
Second murder
on the second.
So
exactly.
We move at a steady rate of murder.
Now
imagine we have a murderer every day, which is very possible for the next 365 for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And it's almost gonna balance out at that.
Yeah, this is a horrible tragedy.
I almost can't even see a day going by without someone being tragically injured or hurt in some kind of way.
Yeah.
And that's not even talking about, we're just talking about the actual homicides through violence.
Period.
We're not even talking about the homicides through overdose. How many people? Was it like 550 or some people who died through overdose?
I think it was a little less than that, but it was
500.
No. They said if I think it was supposed to have been if by the end of 2021 it was going to add up to like 630. I don't know if that number.
At 500.
It was like
85 people.
Right.
Like
yeah.
That.
Yeah.
It
You're
was
right.
Like 585 people who overdosed.
Yes.
Overdose deaths.
Deaths. Yes.
In the city of Milwaukee or in the county of Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And it was gonna be, and they had like some deaths that were pending.
They were pending. Yep, that's right.
And it would have been over like 630 deaths.
Yep.
Through overdose.
Right.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
You got over 220 people.
So, with that being said, anyone with information is asked to contact Milwaukee Police at 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. So yeah.
So here we go. Another young, like I said, a young lady has been killed.
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, the thing that upsets me though, like it really upsets me because it's like, the last thing, I don't think no one should be losing their life in the manner in which we are. There's no real sense of urgency to save lives, because why would you just all of a sudden have a safety plan right now?
Yeah.
When people been dying all this time, now all of a sudden when you run for office, you have a safety plan. Why hasn't there already been a safety plan in place?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, but again, the fact that there's no sense of urgency to save lives, and and everybody is expendable until it happens to somebody who, one of these people that's in position, if something happened to their family, then they gonna come out and do everything possible to change the conditions. But everybody else's life is expendable. Your nephew, your grandmother, your auntie, your cousin, you know, your niece, your grandfather, your grandmother, your mother, your father, everybody's life is expendable.
Yes.
But then when it comes down to election time, you're going to come playing around in my face.
Well, you got to understand, the politicians lie all the time.
Man, but as a community,
they lie all the time.
But as a community, though, we got to quit letting these people play around in your face. The only way things going to change in your community is if you change it. We got to hold ourselves responsible, ourselves accountable. We got to say this is how it's going to be, and we got to make a commitment to doing better. And
that's very true.
And we got to go to these individuals, and we got to command and demand and walk in authority with what it is that we want and what we need to get things done. But if we don't change it, it's not going to happen.
Let's check to see what our friends are saying in our chat box. Oh, hey, my CBF. Yeah. Hey, TJ. Thanks for tuning in. She said, they said the same thing with the last election, as far as it will only last until the election is over. Man. Very true. Oh, she just said what I just said. Politicians been lying forever. Yeah.
But again, how again?
Yeah,
are we going to continue to allow these people to keep lying and playing in your face? That's my thing for 2022. Quit playing around in my face. All this jumping around and lying to me and telling me something, and you know you're not gonna get nothing done.
Right.
So this is why I'm so challenged with everything that's happening. Because it can change.
Yes.
Like this is purposeful. This is with intention that they are leaving the community in a state of disarray in the manner in which they're doing it. This is by design. It's a design that police services are being dismantled, and you don't see police services in our community anymore. They just said that the firehouse on Locust Street,
Teutonia Locust, has been temporarily closed.
They just closed it down because they said it was deemed unsafe.
Yeah.
And this is the most active firehouse in the state of Wisconsin.
Okay.
In the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So how is the most active firehouse in the state of Wisconsin deemed unsafe? And it's in our community.
And how long has that been?
How long has that been?
Yes,
if they have this much activity, why wouldn't all of the resources be in that place to service that place? Why did they have to evacuate the most busiest firehouse in the state, which is in the heart and soul of our community?
Right.
Because they didn't have the proper resources to rehabilitate the building.
Tawana said nothing will get done until the parties can come together. They have to be more concerned with the common good, not which party is right.
And you know what?
I agree with that.
Mr. Tawana, I agree.
I totally agree with that.
But I also agree with the fact that nothing's going to get done until we demand it. We have to quit sitting up here being sold out to a Democratic mindset or sold out to a Republican mindset, when we know, to your point, both of these parties are just playing around. These people sit here and argue in the media, and then behind closed doors,
like kids
behind closed doors, they drink wine together.
Oh my God!
They do drugs together.
Yeah.
They, all the stuff you could everything that they trying to condemn other people for, they behind closed doors doing it. But then they keep this fight up amongst each other like they real enemies, but they all are in agreement that they are not going to do what's right for us unless we demand it, unless we make sure that they do it, unless we enforce.
Yes.
Unless we enforce it. Okay. And that's what we got to understand. We cannot continue to look outside of ourselves for the solution to our problems.
Yes.
We as a community have to come together and put our petty differences to the side and align ourselves with like-minded individuals around common goals of safety and prosperity for ourselves, and move forward with the right number and with the right body of people to command and demand that those things are done.
All right. In other news, a Milwaukee woman pleaded not guilty today, Dennis. Not sure if you heard about that, to charges in the death of a man, Chad Wilson, with near 60th and Stark in early December. She will be bound over for trial.
Chad Wilson.
Lydia Carmen Cartagena, 23. She has been charged with first-degree intentional homicide, use of a dangerous weapon after police say she hit and killed 41-year-old Chad Wilson with a car early Thursday morning on December 9th near 60th and Stark. She is due back in court via Zoom on January 27th.
She didn't just hit him with a car.
Now, she said that she told police that she knew the victim for only 24 hours before their meeting that took a twisted turn. And of course, she faces life in prison if convicted. According to the criminal complaint, the defendant said that she met Wilson on Facebook a few weeks earlier, but they hung out for the first time on Wednesday, December 8th. She admitted to police that she and the victim hung out for 24 hours before drinking and doing drugs. He became upset with her and she asked him to drive her home. During the drive, the victim told her to get out of the car and stop the car on Stark Street. Wilson got out of the car and the defendant followed. Upset she'd have to walk with a big bag of clothes, she took a knife out and approached Wilson in the street. I clearly remember this man.
Yeah.
Dennis.
He was on stage.
Yeah. Oh my God.
He graduated out of my fatherhood program.
Dennis, I clearly remember this man.
I took that man all over the country.
So she stabbed him 3 times in the legs and the stomach. He fought back until he could get the knife from her and lay down in the street. The defendant took the victim's car keys and got into the car and proceeded to run him over, missing a few times, but coming back to hit him multiple times to make sure the man was dead. Surveillance footage from a local church shows the entire altercation. Wilson attempted to dodge the vehicle multiple times, and according to the criminal complaint, she allegedly stabbed Wilson 3 times, again, in the leg and the stomach, until he fought back, and it went from there. They said she bagged up. Dennis, she bagged up again, ran him over to make sure he was dead. And she go and close his eyes.
What do you mean close his eyes?
Dennis, you know what I mean. She closed his eyes, like literally, like who does that?
Literally, she got out of the car, and while he was dead,
Dennis,
she closed his eyes because his eyes was open.
Dennis,
correct?
100% correct.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Chad was a very challenged individual.
And I didn't know. I mean, I thought he was on a good road to success from
everything I did for him, I put him on the road. I did my best to put him on the road to success. Again, sometimes this is what happens. Sometimes when people have been incarcerated, sometimes when people have been institutionalized for so long.
Now, how long was he in prison? Because he
was in and out of prison.
But he was in prison when you all did the 53206 documentary. Is that correct?
He was in the House of Corrections.
Okay, he was on his way out.
Yeah, he was. Well, he wasn't coming out right then.
Okay.
He was when I was teaching classes in the House of Corrections, fatherhood classes.
Yeah.
He was one of the men who graduated from our fatherhood class.
Right.
And he actually went through the class twice.
Okay.
And again, I met Chad. I had an opportunity to establish a relationship with him that I thought would be very positive.
Yes.
We wrapped all of our resources around him to try to make him, to help him to improve himself.
Right.
When he came out of incarceration, we followed up with him.
Yes.
We got him hired through the mayor's office doing work. he immediately became a challenge. You know,
Wow.
once he got out, he
Okay.
immediately just turned into a different person.
Wow.
You know, so he was kind of like that person who plays upon your kindness and looks for weakness, and then he tries to manipulate you.
Okay.
You know, for reasons that are really just, I don't know, just his own insecurities. You know, but he just turned out to not be a sincere person.
Okay.
With all of the help that we gave him, with all of the resources that we provided him, with all the opportunities that we gave him, it just wasn't enough for him to stay on the right road. Now, he did get involved with after the documentary that allowed for him to be featured nationally and internationally, allowed for him to travel all over the country and to tell his story.
For sure.
We put him in a position to be successful. You know, he hooked up with a few organizations and started to work around the issues of reform when it comes to mass incarceration. Right. But at the same time, his behavior wasn't reflecting an individual who was committed to change. Right. You know, it was to me, it was just more of him working to deceive people and to manipulate people that as though he had changed, but he really had. Wow. You know, and when you die in the manner in which he died, I just think about it, right? Okay, if what they're saying is true, the alleged situation is true. Yeah. Chad is a 41-year-old man who spent a lot of time in prison and has been incarcerated, and who has so-called committed himself to improving his community. But then you on Facebook talking to a 23-year-old girl. Right. You 41, you talking to a 23-year-old girl. You go and pick her up. You don't even know this young woman. Right. You meet her on Facebook. The day before this happened. You start doing cocaine with her. Yep. And I have a 20-year-old son, a 19-year-old daughter. Right. I'm a 46-year-old man. That's right. You know, but here we are. Here we are. I'm just envisioning if things happen the way this young woman said that it happened. Right. You're on Facebook talking to random 23-year-old women, and you go pick up this girl and you start doing cocaine with her, and you start drinking alcohol with her. She's obviously a young woman who's homeless of some sort, or doesn't have a stable place, because she says she has a big bag of stuff with her. A bag of clothes. She got a big bag of clothes with her. Whatever's going on while y'all are in the midst of getting high or drinking or whatever, you get upset. And while this young woman has this big bag of clothes, she's been sitting here. You put her out. You put her out the car in the middle of the street on 60th and Stark, and she gets upset because she don't want to be. She got all this stuff with her. So what did you tell her that made her bring all of her clothing with her? What happened in the car while y'all was doing drugs and drinking? Right. You know, and then that led to her stabbing you in the leg and the stomach. And then after that, after y'all fight, she stabbed you up. And then run you over. She takes your keys, jumps in your car, runs you over. And took your life. She chases you with the car, hits you with the car. After she hits you with the car, she bags over your body with the car. Then she runs you over again to make sure you're dead. So she runs you over like 3 times. The police said that when they found the car, this blood was on the grill and on the headlights of the car. The woman said she hit him over and over again to make sure he was dead because she was afraid for her life. And then they said that when she got out of the car, she kicked him in the face like a dog and closed his eyes. And then she closed his eyes to make sure that he was, he's sitting there dead. Oh my God. And his eyes are open. He done got ran over multiple times. And then the woman come and close his eyes. Now, obviously, there was some issues that this woman was challenged with as well. That's right. Yeah. This young woman was challenged with some serious issues. But a whole lot of our young women are challenged with a lot of issues. Why are you doing cocaine and drinking with a young woman who's homeless? Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. And probably living on the streets. What is it that y'all was going through to where it led to that type of tragic situation? You got to look at the whole situation and evaluate the whole situation properly. There's nothing. The root of the problem. Yeah. The root of the situation. What's the root of this problem? The root of this problem is that as a man, at his age, first of all, he shouldn't have been.
Mm-hmm.
He shouldn't have put himself in that situation
That's
with
right.
that young woman.
Yeah. Thinking that he probably going to take advantage of her. Who knows? We don't know.
Now, no, you can't condone anything that she
That's right.
did
Yeah,
because
right.
she's obviously very, very challenged
Yes.
as a young woman.
That's right.
But it sounded like to me like she was high.
Man.
It sounded like me when you listen to the way that she told the
Mhm.
story. It sounded to me like she was so high out of her mind
Yeah.
from drinking and doing drugs that she just blanked out
She did, and she
and
felt
went into a fit of rage.
and like according to the
What kind of drugs was they doing for her to do all of that?
right, and then when she was being interrogated and doing the interview, she felt like so bad about it, like she didn't realize what she had done.
Because now you're not high no more.
Now you're not high no
So
more.
just imagine, y'all sitting here.
Yeah, like
y'all done did cocaine and all
Right.
this. Obviously, I'm
Right.
assuming he brought the stuff because she was in his car. He went and picked her up. She
Yeah.
was running around with a big bag of clothes. She was
Mhm.
obviously a homeless chick
Yes.
that he met on Facebook.
Mhm.
You know,
and she was on the street.
or on the streets
Yeah.
or somewhat, you know. And now she's sitting here and did drugs, and now she high out her mind, paranoid, geeking.
That's something.
And she thinking this man trying to kill her because of whatever's going on.
Mhm.
So what kind of drugs was y'all doing?
Yeah.
Going back and forth to where this woman lost her mind to the point where she just killed, she viciously
Very true.
murdered and killed you.
Yeah.
You
That
know,
was
it's
detrimental.
just
That was
sad,
detrimental. Like,
you know.
oh my
And you don't want to see anybody
Mhm.
be killed in that manner. But
Right,
it's like, man, what kind of lifestyle was you living behind
Mhm.
closed doors
Yeah.
while you were representing mass,
Mhm.
mass incarceration reform, while you were out here working within organizations and volunteering and claiming to be a changed person? How did your life end like this?
Yeah, that was
As a adult male who's dealing with
because
a young woman in this manner.
because I recall asking you about him
Mhm.
way before we found out about him.
Yeah.
And I thought that he was, like I said, on the road to success, back into the job system or whatever he was doing. I thought that he was, I thought he was
I'm
still,
being honest.
I thought he was still incarcerated at one point because I know we hadn't.
No, I mean, I had to cut him short because, he just turned out to not be an honest person.
Okay.
In the way that me and him have been working together.
Oh, okay.
And he did a lot of negative things
Yeah.
that kind of, that just was unnecessary and made me see a side of him
Okay.
that I couldn't continue to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Now, other people worked with him and, he was able to manipulate and deceive him to whatever extent that he was. But I think that when you look at the result and how he died,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of that has to do with what was your behavior, your daily behavior,
Yeah.
what lifestyle was you living
Okay.
that led up to you tragically being killed by a 23-year-old woman who you was doing cocaine and drinking with.
Yeah.
Then she stabs you up and runs you over in the manner in which she did. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just sad.
It is, and we're praying.
I feel sorry for his children.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're definitely praying
the
for his
man
children.
The man had like 4 children.
Okay.
I think 2 daughters. A daughter that's probably similar to the age of this young woman.
Right.
And like I said, I think he had like 2 daughters and 2 sons,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Beautiful children.
Right.
Beautiful children, beautiful family.
So sorry that happened.
He had the opportunity. He really did have the opportunity to change. But sometimes people be so stuck in, or people be so stuck, or they be so damaged from things that have happened to them in their past,
Right.
that it become hard for them to function, in society in a normal way after you've been incarcerated for so long.
For so long,
dealing with whatever your
past
trauma
was.
is,
Right.
And he was actually dealing with a lot of torment, a lot of pain, a lot of trauma.
Okay.
And he ended up dying tragically like this.
So sorry to hear about that.
But he
My
was definitely
God.
featured in the 5B126 documentary.
Yes, and you know what? And I want to see myself again in that documentary. We got to find that documentary, Dennis. We got to get in touch with Keith to see if we can find that documentary.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
We will.
We can share with our audience.
I think it's time to do another one.
We can share with our audience. Yeah, I think I'm ready to act now. You think I'll be a good actress?
Yeah, you be acting every day anyway.
You know, you're such a hater. You want to be like me. I think, you know what?
You're a great actor.
I've gained enough confidence to even be in front of this camera now. I got a little dome on me, but I have to.
Dome.
No one's talking to you. But I become confident. Hey, there's none but wisdom and knowledge with that, Doc. None but wisdom and knowledge. You such a hater.
I'm telling you, man.
Whatever.
I mean, you look beautiful.
Don't worry about what I got going on. 1:00 p.m. on the nose. I thank God for my head.
Hey.
I think God just got a lot on my mind. That's all. It's got a lot on my mind.
I'm being so reserved in the new year.
Hush.
But yeah,
you gonna be good to me on this year?
I'm being nice to you.
You gonna be good? I know. You know what? We don't make New Year's resolutions, right, Dennis? No. There you go.
We do what we gotta do.
That's right. New Year's goes. 1:00 p.m. on the nose. All right, y'all. We're gonna take a quick break. We have much more to talk about.
A lot of good stuff to talk about.
A lot of good stuff. Now we got the bad stuff out the way. Yeah. Well, we got a few more news to come. But there's some crazy stuff out there that's been happening. All right. So hang tight. Thanks to the 9 people that are watching now. Thank you so much. Lord's will, we're gonna make that 9 into 900. Not claim it, okay?
It's gonna get greater later.
Yes, sir. In the meantime, keep it locked. Going back to more incredible gospel music. Keep it here. Brother Dennis, where you been? I've been looking for you.
What's going on, Sister Soraya? You know I've been around.
Been around where?
Here, there, everywhere.
Guess what time it is,
What time is it?
It's time for the Soul of the City Gospel Radio Show.
I mean, what's that?
You know exactly what that is. Quit playing. It's our new radio show, sponsored by Higher Dimension Radio, hosted by me, yours truly, Sister Soraya, and you, Brother Dennis Walton.
Well, it's about time. I mean, you know the whole world been watching and ready for our return.
Well, we can let them know that the wait is over, because we're about to give them what they need and what they want, so you better be ready.
Ready for what, Sister Soraya?
Ready for news, information, stimulating conversation, great gospel music, and a whole lot more every magnificent Monday from noon until 3 p.m.
Well, that time has finally come, so you can start your week off with Soul of the City, the world's #1 gospel radio show, hosted by Sister Soraya and me, Brother Dennis Walton, sponsored by HD Radio, where you can imagine more.
Oh, and check us out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, and our website, hdmediagrp.com.
It's HD Radio, where you can imagine more. The whole world been watching and waiting for our return.
Well, the wait is over. We're about to give people what they want and what they need, so you better get ready. And we are back on the Soul of the City Gospel Radio Show. If you are listening online on that radio app we were talking about, where you're listening to the Church Medley with Bishop Greg Davis. All right, y'all, 10 minutes after the hour of 1 o'clock p.m. Good afternoon to you. Thank you all so much to have that just started tuning in with us. Again, continue to follow us on our Facebook page at HD Higher Dimension Radio. You can also watch us live on YouTube. All you got to do is simply type in the Soul of the City Gospel Radio Show, and you'll see myself, and you'll see Dennis making a food order.
A food order?
Yes, a food order. Why are you on your phone?
I'm looking at myself on Facebook.
You know what you think? You look good or something? You look good or something? The mirror don't lie.
Yeah.
That phone don't lie. It's currently 24 degrees here in the Mill with bright sunshine. I'd say, Lord, I thank you. Because yesterday it was a bit cloudy and a bit cold, a little windy there, and snow there. But again, we have nothing to complain about. You know why, Dennis?
Why?
Because guess who else got snow?
Who?
You would never think that would get snow.
Who?
Florida.
Really?
Yeah.
That's because they messing with the weather.
Florida, y'all. They got some snow. And of course, they were shocked. They said
they messing around.
It was 75 degrees yesterday at Fort Walton Beach.
I've been there before.
Less than 24 hours later, the low was 34 degrees.
Really?
COVID.
COVID.
COVID. You crazy.
Dude, you know what was interesting?
They just unbelievable to see. Like,
because you know in Florida they got the most relaxed
yes,
COVID restrictions in the nation.
yes, they do. Yeah.
Like they ain't shutting nothing down.
Mhm.
They just like bring it on.
Yeah. So when they saw them, when they seen them flakes, they was like, "What in the world is going on?" Yeah. So there you have it.
Interesting. While I was watching the game last night, right? And you know the temperature was like 11 degrees.
Yes, it was.
It was the coldest day of the year to be playing football.
Yeah.
And you know, every time people breathe, you could see the smoke. I was like, look at that's just COVID. Everybody breathing COVID on everybody. You could just, and then you have all the people in the stand screaming and hollering, talking about, oh, yeah. And all by these people, you see the smoke coming out there. I like COVID.
That was a COVID game. COVID game. Everybody got COVID.
You know how you speak when you talking, you there from the heat.
I get it. On the cold.
I'm like,
right.
All you saw was smoke coming out everybody's mouth. I'm like, look at all that COVID.
I absolutely hate
it.
it.
Spread COVID around.
Oh my God. I absolutely hate it.
I would have been so paranoid. I'm watching TV and I'm looking at all the steam coming out people's mouth, and I'm just thinking like COVID. Every time they breathe, COVID just coming
absolutely.
out.
Oh my God.
They all at each other's face screaming and hollering.
Oh, Jesus.
COVID. I'm like, no.
Well, speaking of COVID, your acting mayor, Cavalier Johnson, said he was tested positive COVID. Now, he has been vaccinated, and he also got his booster shot, and which kind of lifts a red flag for me, because I, again, addressed the question, even on Facebook last night, I addressed the question, okay, you got the vaccination, you got the booster shot, but you still got COVID.
Everybody's still catching it that's vaccinated.
And that's what I'm wondering. That's what I was asking you. Why is everybody trying to go and get a vaccination over the weekend? I didn't understand that.
Man, I know all of the tests. Well, first you're talking about Cavaliers.
Right.
Let's talk about him.
Okay.
Talk about he tested positive.
Yes, he tested positive, and he said that he was, while he was taking names for something last Friday, he said he began to experience mild symptoms. And then, of course, he went to get tested, and he was found to be tested positive.
I don't know. In my mind, I remember when the COVID came out before, then the mayor was like, he COVID, because he caught COVID, he's gonna be working from home.
Yes.
I think a lot of people just use the COVID as an excuse to not work from home. Political people in particular, and I'm not saying necessarily him, but I'm just saying I'm skeptical. Like a lot of people, and I talk to certain politicians regularly, right? So I do have some insight on some of the things that go on behind the scenes. Right?
Yeah.
But a lot of these dudes, I think they're just using COVID as an excuse, because with them having, by you saying you have COVID, that means that you don't have to face people.
Right.
You don't have to go out into the public.
Work with the public,
Since the whole 2 years or whatever that COVID has been going on now, all the elected officials
have been
are
working
at
from
home getting paid.
Right.
They don't have to deal with none of the people. Your issue as a politician is to deal with all of the issues of a people that's in your district or whatever you represent. Now, you sitting here for 2 years, you just been collecting a paycheck. You haven't had to deal with any of the issues that people are challenged with because you could conveniently use COVID as an excuse. So
what do you say?
Just think about it. It's the easiest job in the world. You just at home with your family, with your children,
getting a crazy pay.
You getting $80,000 a year in salary or more.
Yeah. Well, speaking of this other politicians,
I'm just saying not just as an alderman, but
I get
you got
it.
county supervisors, you got state representatives, you got senators, you got Congress people. All these people do not have to be accountable to their constituent base because of COVID.
Yeah, I
get it. You can conveniently say, I got COVID.
I got COVID. And you got to prove it.
I mean, come on, man. I mean, that gotta be like the best situation ever.
That's the best excuse
you don't
ever.
Have to do now all the people can't check you and get at you and hold you accountable because you got COVID.
All right, so speaking of that, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin revealed on yesterday that he was tested positive, and he said that, of course, he was vaccinated and received the COVID booster in October, and he requested the test yesterday after exhibiting symptoms while at home on leave. So
I've been trying to buy COVID tests all weekend.
Did you get one?
No.
But you said you went and got one last week.
No, I got one though.
You got
last
one
week.
Yeah.
And it was I just walked in the store and I got a COVID test.
They were all gone. Yeah, they were all gone. Wow. All right. So also
said that's not necessarily true. They do have to work. They just go on Zoom. This is Portia said. Zoom and do work on the phones like they
most likely do all the time.
No, it is a slight difference. It ain't even a slight difference. They're doing some work, but their work is nowhere near
what they should be doing
if the public had access to them. You know, COVID has shut down the way that the courts are operating, the way again, your city hall is operating, your county government, all of that.
Okay.
And it has limited the access that we have. If you call any of your electeds
down to city hall,
city hall or county or whatever, the response times are different. Your access to them is different, and the level of work that they're doing is different.
And the wait is longer.
The wait is longer. But it is a convenience to be at home and not be in City Hall doing the work that you're doing now. So they still doing Zoom and they still going to certain hearings and they're still working through, all of the online stuff. But I'm just saying that when you look at the lack of resources that our community is being engaged. The lack of resources that the community is suffering from right now.
Yes.
And the lack of engagement, as far as the resources and access to the individuals that can help us. And COVID being the main factor why we can use as an excuse saying, well, look, this COVID thing has changed the way we operate. It's just a greater challenge right now, and again, it's more of a convenience for them than it is for us. That's my only point. But I do agree. I'm not gonna. In Portia, you're absolutely right. They aren't not working. They are doing some things, like I said. But a lot of it's all online. If you could just sit at home in your bed and just be online with everything that you do. There's a convenience there, but there's a lack of convenience when it comes to us because we can't just zoom into your county supervisor. You can't just zoom into your state representative. You can't just zoom, it's like we got to go through all this stuff to find out what's going on when the community is in a state of
disarray,
just total disarray.
Yes.
And this online stuff is not helping. So I agree with you though.
Thanks for tuning in, Portia Elaine. This is Portia. Thank you so much. All right, 20 minutes after the hour of 1:00 p.m. Do you have something before I go to the next story?
What was the next story?
The next story is on a national note.
Okay, before you go there.
Yes.
I want to talk about the vaccine a little bit.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So this is my challenge with the vaccine right now. And I was just thinking about this, right? Now, the world is not new to vaccinations.
No, it's not.
People have been getting vaccinated for a very long time.
Mhm.
We all can agree upon that, right? So when people get vaccinated for certain things in the past, people get vaccinated for chickenpox, right?
Yeah.
People got vaccinated for polio,
Flu,
for measles,
pneumonia.
hold on, for measles, for mumps,
Yeah.
different
Shingles.
things, shingles,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And in most circumstances that I know of,
Mhm.
once you get a vaccination one time, you never have to deal with those things again. Excuse me. If you get vaccinated one time, when people got vaccinated, when you get the chickenpox vaccination, you don't got to go get 10 more chickenpox vaccinations.
Part of my ignorance, but I didn't know that they had a chickenpox vaccination.
When you go get when you got a vaccination as a child for the measles or for the mumps or for polio and all of this kind of stuff,
right,
you're gonna have to get 9 more vaccinations.
Just one.
You just have one vaccination,
right?
So again, measles, mumps, polio,
Mhm.
all these different things that they have been vaccinating us for, the measles and all this stuff. When we were young and we got a vaccination, we got vaccinated one time.
That hurt it too.
We didn't get vaccinated. I haven't had a measles vaccination or a mumps vaccination since I was like 5 years old.
Okay.
I didn't have to take no booster.
Okay.
Right.
Good point.
So now here we are with a COVID vaccination, and you got to take the vaccination 3, 4, 5 times. For every
variant that comes out, there is a vaccination.
That don't make sense to me.
Yeah.
That just doesn't make sense to me. When people get illness and sickness, and most times they take some medication, it's gone. Yeah. But vaccinations in particular, right? Again, I'm just looking at the measles, the mumps, all the different stuff that we got vaccinated for when we were children. We didn't have to take no booster vaccination for none of that stuff.
I agree.
So I guess what I'm saying is that how is it that we have a so-called a successful vaccination or vaccine, and every time a different strain of the COVID come out, we got to get vaccinated again, or we got to get a booster shot.
Yeah.
People got, why? Because this is all still an experiment, and they don't know what it's doing, and people are not saying
what it's doing and what's going and where is it going and what's going to happen.
Vaccinations take 10 to 15 to 20 years for you to know the results, and right now everyone being experimented on, and that's just a fact. This is just it's not a fact. It's my opinion.
Well, I know some vaccinations. I think when I before I traveled to South Africa, in 2001, I was told, and I forgot the vaccination. They said that you have to get it every 10 years.
What vaccination?
I forgot what it was. Oh my God, I forgot what it was.
My only point is that again, so Portia just said now we just get the flu shots every year. And yes, they said we will get this third booster. Now they're talking about
a fourth booster. They are talking about.
I'm like, come on,
Yeah.
Okay, we get the flu shot every year, but even with the flu shot, people still get the flu.
And yes,
we've been talking about that for a long time. Like, you go get the flu shot and still get the flu, or people get the flu shot and get sick as soon as they get it.
As soon as they get it.
Man, I know people that are taking the vaccination and they get so sick.
Yeah, they are. And the booster. People are getting sick off the booster as well.
My sister works at the hospital. She said that when when you take the vaccine, they give you like 10 days off work or something.
The vaccine.
Once you take the COVID vaccine,
right? The first one.
When you take it, they give you like so many days off work because your body is adjusted to it, and people are like sick for the time that they first take it until it works into their body.
Right.
It's like it's just too many different.
Yeah, it is.
Then you talking about a second, a third, and a fourth, and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, Israel already started on their fourth booster shot, so it's coming here eventually. It's coming to this.
You said who?
Israel.
Man, come on, man. They tripping.
Already on their fourth booster shot.
My only point is that typically when you get a vaccination, you don't have to take 4 more or 5 more.
I agree.
One vaccination was good enough for when we was 5. Like I said, I got a measles and mumps and all this kind of stuff vaccination when I was 5 years old. I ain't never had no measles or no mumps or no polio and all this kind of stuff. Whatever, had to take these vaccines for. Why do you take a vaccination today and got to get 9 boosters?
That's right.
from, you know.
I pray it don't wake up to 9, but I get it.
I'm exaggerating a little
I know,
bit.
I get it, but
then you don't even know which one you take.
Oh,
The
my
Johnson &
God.
Johnson. They
Yeah.
still talking about that's causing blood clots.
Mhm.
It's just crazy. All this crazy stuff.
And now they're telling you which one you should have taken in terms of the
Man,
Pfizer
yeah.
and the Moderna. Yeah.
And then it's like, I don't know. I say go to Dr. Carter.
Go
Go
to
to Dr. Carter.
Go to
That's what I
Dr.
do.
Go
I go to Dr. Carter.
Dr. Jesus,
I've
Lord.
been fortunate that I
God.
lived on 24th of Burleigh my entire life.
He gonna tell you.
And
What he gonna tell
my
you?
first job was at Carter's drugstore. I'm proud of that. Dr. Carter is like 94,
95, yeah,
something, like 90 something.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, Dr. Carter used to always tell me,
Mm-hmm.
he said, you know, the human body is designed to live at least 125 years.
Mm-hmm.
This is what he used to tell me, right?
Right.
And I used to sit in and we used to go through medicine and stuff all the time. And
Right.
I'd come with a little herb or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd come with his herbs. And if I ask him about something, he'd be like, well, I never heard of that before, but give me some time. I'm going to research it. Then
Yeah.
I come back and he'll have all the information on
Right.
the plants and the minerals and stuff. This
Oh,
this how me and
Lord.
Dr. Carter, kid, I'm a kid.
Right. Right. Mm-hmm.
Young.
Right.
And I just say that to say I trust Dr. Carter, and he will be
Truthful.
He will be truthful.
He'll be
very honest.
Very honest. Yeah.
So I say go to Dr. Carter,
Mm-hmm.
get you some cod liver oil.
Whoa.
I went to go get me some.
What's that, turpentine?
No, turpentine is different.
It's
Get you some
different?
of that too, though.
Okay.
Get you some cod liver oil. I went to Dr. Carter. It was sold out. I have a
Wow.
special order of my cod liver oil.
What does cod liver oil do? What is it?
Look, you gotta go back to the
Cod
old school.
li-
It's one of them old school.
You said
remedies.
cod, COD, cod
COD, cod
liver oil.
liver oil.
Okay.
You take a spoonful of it with a peppermint, and you'll never even get a sniffle.
Really?
Yeah,
That's natural remedy.
that's natural.
All
remedy.
day.
It's so natural that when I went to Dr. Carter, it was totally sold out.
Oh my Lord.
He was waiting on a whole new order.
Okay.
But also, I'm excited to say, I'm gonna just spill the beans real quick. Dr.
Feel
Carter,
it.
Dr. Carter will be becoming a natural.
So
a
excited.
regular
Yeah.
segment
Okay.
on our show.
Mm-hmm.
In the very near future, we're going to be having him come on, and we're going to be talking about all this health stuff
Okay.
from a health guru in our
Yes.
community. And I'm excited that we're going to be able to have him come on, do a 30-minute segment with him where you can ask Dr. Carter all the questions that you want.
Yes, you can. You can.
About your health.
In fact, you can call in or you can chime in as well. We can, like you see Dennis and myself right now, you can also be a part of this platform, just like we are now, but you have to email us so we can email you the link so that you can ask Dr. Carter anything you need that's health related, okay?
Let's see here. Portia says that's just too much time off work for a vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
That's the time you get COVID. I think it's because of the way it's made. The other ones, they put the live virus in you. True.
That's not the
This is not the live virus.
Mhm.
Exactly. And people are having bad breakthroughs, but
Mhm.
most people are just having it
like a simple cold. Very
right?
true. Yeah.
But the vaccine was never supposed to just take it away
Mhm.
or we wouldn't get it. It's supposed to help in developing herd immunity.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key. That's where we're trying to get it, where the virus becomes less and less harmful to us. And it looks like we might be getting there. Yeah, I remember him right on the corner across from our. Yeah, that's where I go. But everything that you're saying, Portia, is absolutely right.
Yeah,
we are looking to get herd immunity, but what's happening is to your point, the vaccine is not the natural vaccines that we're used to getting, to where they give you the actual they incorporate the virus into the vaccine so that it can go in your body and your body can be responsive to it or familiar with it as it comes. These
they just
vaccines,
experiment now.
These vaccines are mRNA. They call it mRNA vaccine.
And what does that stand for?
And what they do is they change. What they do is they insert information into your DNA, and it reprograms and restructures your DNA. These vaccines restructure and reprogram your DNA to be familiar with the virus, which is a total different function than what we've ever experienced when it comes to vaccination.
Okay.
And I'm not going to go too far into it. I'm going to just do some more. I want to make sure I have the exact information, but to Portia's point, these are not the normal vaccines that we're used to having.
Uh-huh.
These vaccines specifically affect your DNA. Okay. And also, like she said, we're supposed to be building herd immunity.
Yes.
Right. But what they say is that by them constantly giving us these vaccines, and the COVID virus is designed to mutate, it does not stay the same. That's why you see it coming, all these different variants of COVID, because that's how it's designed.
That's
it's designed to not stay in one form, but to mutate into different forms.
And then that's why the booster shots come in.
So when you're getting a vaccine, you're getting a vaccine for the previous mutation, not the current mutation. So now your body is automatically going to be resistant when it has another form of the virus that comes.
Wow.
So it's just creating. The vaccines are possibly creating more of the variants.
That's too much.
You see what I'm saying?
That's too much.
So, but through herd immunity, if you catch COVID, you don't necessarily it's people who are not vaccinated and they're catching COVID and they're going home and they're quarantining and they're getting over it in a certain amount of time.
Right.
And now their body, anybody who has had COVID, in their body, now they're looking for people who have had COVID because they want their blood, because they're saying that because they already have it, they have an immunity to certain strains of it or something like that. But if you've already had it, the virus is already in your body, so it's not like it's different than for a person who has never had it.
Right, and also it's different for a person who's already been vaccinated, right?
Yeah, it's different for a person that's been vaccinated.
So with the booster shot, help me out. With the booster shot, it lessens you from getting sicker than what you've already have. It also lessens hospitalizations and of course deaths, right?
But that's what they're saying.
Okay.
But at the same time,
people
are just
confusing.
Look, they're saying that it lessens people going to the hospital. But everybody who vaccinated is going to the hospital. They said that it's lessening people. Now, again, my sister works at the hospital, so she's saying that there are more people who are unvaccinated than vaccinated that are in the hospital. But she vaccinated and she didn't caught COVID twice times already.
Right. So is she
was sick.
So is she required to take the booster shot before returning to work?
I'm not sure. But I just know it's
a lot, y'all. It's a lot of confusion.
But I just the fear of just sticking something unknown in my body and let somebody inject something in me that's gonna change the structure of my DNA. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
and then here you have it.
Paranoid.
And then here you have it, you have, those that are saying, well, when you took the shots, the measles, the mumps, the other shots, we didn't ask what was in those, vaccinations. We didn't.
That ain't no smart argument.
I know, but that's what people are saying.
Yeah, but how is that a smart argument?
I get it, but that's.
Well, you didn't ask when they injected that last stuff. Why you asking now? Come on, man.
Well, that is the argument.
That's a stupid argument.
That is the argument because that is the argument. So to each his own. Again, as I always say, we're not going to make your preference your conviction. It's up to you, but don't judge the next person that did get vaccinated. Okay.
Hey, go to Dr. Carter and get the elderberry.
Yeah, I got some elderberry.
Yeah, elderberry. Dr. Carter told me this was the other day.
I got the elderberry tablets.
He got the tablets too. He said this is the best thing for you. It's this elderberry. He said as long as he said what he's upset about, and I'm gonna let him say it. I ain't gonna even talk for him. I'm gonna just say this stuff.
Okay.
But I sat down and had a long talk with Dr. Carter the other day.
Okay.
And he said that what he's upset about is that they're pushing the vaccination, but they're not telling people what to do to reinforce and to strengthen their immune system.
Yeah.
He said, and there's he said it makes no sense that they're not telling people how to have a healthy life and how to strengthen their immune system when if you have an increased immune system, a strengthened immune system, no matter what sickness that you come encounter with, your body will be able to fight it off. So the number one thing that you need to do is do everything possible to boost your immune system.
That's always,
He said that he is upset and challenged with the public health system right now, or the information that they're giving, because they're not stressing the importance of people having a strong immune system. Portia just said, she said, She take elderberry, zinc,
vitamin C,
vitamin D, vitamin
B12, but she still got the shot
but
for
I
sure.
still got that shot.
That's for sure.
That's for sure. But have you I would like to ask, have you had COVID? You know, how's your body?
Mm-hmm.
Like, have you with the vitamin supplements that you're taking, do you feel a strengthening of your immune system? And how's your body responding to that?
Okay.
That's what we need to know.
Yeah.
But I'm doing the same thing. I'm taking my vitamin D.
Mm-hmm.
I got a whole increase. I got a prescription vitamin D.
Right.
You know, and all my other vitamins, and doing everything I can to stay healthy.
36 minutes after the hour of 1:00 p.m. Good afternoon to you. It's the Soul of the City Gospel Radio Show on a national level, where ABC's The View returned from its winter break, announcing COVID-19 woes that co-host my girl Whoopi Goldberg.
What about Whoopi Goldberg?
And Sunny Hostin tested positive for the virus.
Really?
Yeah, tested positive for the virus. So she's been vaccinated and boosted at the same time, and her symptoms have been very, very mild. So let's keep them in prayer. All right. Mm-hmm. Also, speaking of that, on a national level, remember Omarion? Is it his name Omarion? So he's you know, I thought it was Omarion, the variant, but it's Omicron.
You're right.
I'm sorry, duh.
No, but everybody was making fun of calling it the Omarion.
So he said he just want to clear the air. He said Omarion said he's not a COVID variant. He said, man, y'all mix my name up in this. So he just want to set the record straight. He's an entertainer, not a variant of the coronavirus. Hey. So, oh my God. Yeah, I'm sorry, Douglas. I've been saying Omarion.
It's Omicron.
Omicron. So he shared that.
Hold on. One person said, yes, sir, I was driving the city bus, but I had just gotten a job and they took us out of class because of COVID, and then I got to work with those people on 27th Street.
They gave me COVID. Wow.
They didn't have the shots back then. Mm-hmm. But I went. Well, thank God you recovered and that you taking your vitamins.
Yeah.
Straight up.
For sure.
You gotta be careful with that.
That's right. Mm-hmm. But on a side note, I have another
Did we talk about Betty White?
No, not yet. We will.
Oh, okay.
I have another story concerning unvaccinated people. This unvaccinated man, I'll read the story here. It says 25-year-old Brittany Wright of Atlanta is mourning the loss of her husband after he passed from COVID on this past Saturday. Bradrick Wright, 28 years old, did not get the vaccine after seeing various different conspiracy theories online, but his dying wish is that more people will get the vaccination. He had asked the doctors for a vaccine while in the hospital. It was already too late. So, yeah, he asked the doctor for a vaccination while he was dying. Of course, he has some underlying health conditions with his heart and, lungs or whatever. So, but his wife, of course, she survived. And she's scheduled to get her second vaccination soon. But she was vaccinated, but he wasn't. And he ended up transitioning this past Saturday. So,
that's sad.
And of course, she was able to have her last conversation with her husband, and that was his dying wish is for people to get vaccinated because of what happened to him. So,
I don't know, man.
And they had just gotten married. They were together for 5 years and just got married, Dennis, last month.
I think that right now they're just manufacturing and pushing so much fear and confusion in our community.
Yeah.
And a lot of times your sickness starts in your mind. If you don't have a strong, healthy mind, you ain't gonna have a strong, healthy body. And if you're constantly being fed information through your mind that's negative, poor health, this person dying, this person got this person.
Because, dude,
it's just crazy. Like everything, it's how do we get to this place where we're in 2022 and we should be the most sophisticated. We're at the highest level of information and knowledge and resource that we've ever had, because you got from it's 2022 all the way back to the beginning of time. Millions of years ago, we've been building as a civilization to get to the place where we're at right now. We have all these thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands
Yeah.
of years of information and documentation,
Mm-hmm.
and we have all this communication and technology and all this stuff, and we functioning like we the dumbest people on earth sometimes. When you just look at how everybody operating, everybody just giving false information, confusing information, cross information, and contradictory information. Everybody debating something. It's always an opposition. Where's just the truth and the facts based upon?
And who do you believe?
Well, it's not even about necessarily believing anything. We're at a point in history where we should know what's going on.
Okay.
We don't have to keep up making up stuff or talking about, I believe I could fly, but you can't. You know what I'm saying? You can believe you can fly, and you get in an airplane, you can fly. But if you jump off the building,
You got to learn how to fly that airplane, though.
you jump off that building, you're not flying.
You ain't going nowhere but to the
Okay.
ground.
You know, I believe I can fly. Jump off the building. Okay, we know that's not happening. You know,
Right.
you believed it, you hit the ground really hard. We don't have to be believing stuff no more. There's enough information out here for us to know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But then you can know something. You can actually know exactly what you're talking about. And you can say, this is what I know is going on. And you know what a person say? Well, I believe this.
Well, let me tell you one thing.
I just told you this. I know a person, these are actual facts. And a person will go right and say, well, you know what I believe? That's counterproductive to knowing.
Okay.
People want to believe stuff. What about what we know? Know your knowledge. The information that you know is factual. You don't have to always believe or have an opinion. You can operate in facts. And we're not operating in actual facts because everybody want to know. Everybody want to believe something instead of just know. All I'm saying is that we've been around long enough to know how to do certain things. We don't got to keep believing and hoping and wishing that things come true.
All right. Did you just check me?
Well,
I believe I can fly.
I believe you can't sing.
I believe I can touch. You know what?
Don't
do it
That's my belief.
on you. Well, help your unbelief because I can sing.
That's my belief.
I can sing.
Like somebody else might
Hush.
say this.
42 minutes after the hour of 1 o'clock.
My point is to just
PM.
know the difference between knowing something and believing something.
Well, we do know that Betty White passed away on last Friday.
That's a fact. Now we know that. You can't say, well, I believe she's still alive. Well, I believe she's still alive.
Well, I believe she was almost 100. She almost made 100, y'all. Just 2 weeks shy of her birthday.
Yes.
I just thought Betty was going to live forever.
I think everybody thought.
I'm just trying to tell you, like, she outlived everybody, it seems to me.
Hey,
I mean, yeah.
but she is one of those beloved
I mean,
Hollywood actresses.
that just make me want to go and watch the entire series of The Golden Girls.
And she, I mean,
Like,
but she
for
was
real.
on Mary Tyler
Moore.
I mean, her career.
Actually, she was on.
Can I finish talking?
Yes, but wait, let me get this out.
Dang.
She was just. I was watching Bringing Down the House last night. She was on there. Oh my God, she was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, they were actually getting ready to celebrate her 100th birthday, and it was originally planned, and of course they are still planning to air it. Okay, and it's an upcoming birthday special scheduled to include appearances by Ryan Reynolds and a whole bunch of people: Jay Leno, Carol Burnett, Clint Eastwood, James Corden, Jennifer Love Hewitt, a lot of people. So I believe that they are going to air this, and her birthday, she would have been 100 on January 17th.
Wow.
14 days from today.
Yeah. So they probably gonna do it on her birthday. Which
Yes,
is cool.
yes. So,
But again, she was definitely very.
she was an
beloved
icon, y'all.
and accomplished.
Yeah.
And it just throughout Hollywood or whatever.
Yeah.
I was a big Golden Girls fan.
Yes.
When I was a kid,
Mhm.
like, I watched every episode. Me and my little sister
Yeah.
watched every episode.
Like she would say, like some of the crazy, like, what did she just say? Like, yeah. So she was the last of the Golden Girls. She was the last. Everybody else passed away.
99 years.
99 years old. Yeah.
I wonder if she take the COVID shot.
Dennis, I don't know.
No, I'm just wondering, you know,
I have no idea.
because Cicely Tyson took it,
She did.
and she ended up passing
She
away right
did.
afterwards.
Yes,
Hank
she
Aaron
did.
took it.
Yep, sure
He
did.
ended up passing right afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
People not telling you about this.
Yeah.
Who else took it? Marvin Hagler took it. He ended up right at ICU. He died.
Oh my God.
You know, so I'm just, these are things that just make you say,
Yeah. Man, she did live a long time.
But she said, Portia
Lived a
said
long
that
time.
that Betty White attributed her longevity, her age and longevity to being kind.
Yes.
And that's one thing that you did. Like every time, I think that's probably was her biggest appeal, is that every time you seen her, she just was, she had
just
so
happy.
much energy,
Yep.
happy. She was lively.
Yes.
She was alert. She was functioning. And she just always had a kind energy.
And she loved animals. I think she
yeah, she did.
I think she kissed the bear, or the bear kissed her.
Or kind of spirits.
Whoa.
But I mean,
yeah.
Look, man, I just hope and pray. I'm following. I believe.
Don't believe.
I believe what Dr. Carter
what
told
you believe.
me when I was a little kid. He told me that I could live to be 125 years old.
All right.
I believe.
Okay.
In Dr. Carter.
You believe in Dr.
I don't
Carter?
know, because I ain't made it to 125 yet.
Almost, but okay.
But if you know, thank God for her living to 99 years old. You know, almost to 100.
Almost to 100.
I think that's absolutely phenomenal.
Yes, that's
beautiful.
Right. Yeah.
And I would just love to just like learn more about her journey. Like whenever we find people who have been able to live to the 100 mark or beyond,
right?
We need to be studying those people.
Like, what did you do? How did you do it?
We need to be sitting and just listening, and not even speaking, just listening to them and let them pour into you.
Right.
Yeah. Rest in peace to Miss Betty White.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, she's gonna be greatly missed. She has
such a body of work.
Yes, she does.
When a person, that's the thing. Like when you pass, I mean, we know that death is natural. It's a natural thing. All this premature death, where you die from this sickness or die from this violent situation and all of that, you know, those are things that are unfortunate, and you don't want to see anyone lose their lives to a disease or a virus or violence or something like that. But when you live a long life and it's fulfilled, and then you just transition, you know, you're supposed to rejoice in the life of that person. You know what I'm saying? Because you can just look at their body of work and all the things that they left and all the things that they've done, and you can say, wow, this person was a beautiful spirit, you know, that was here in the physical form in the time that they had to be, and now they, you know, went on to eternity.
Right.
You can celebrate life when it's like that. You know?
Okay.
And I think, you know, her life is definitely going to be one that people are going to celebrate.
Definitely.
And just look at all of her great accomplishments.
For sure.
That she's been able to contribute to our society and to the world to make it a better place. So rest in peace.
In other news, Governor Jared Polis on Thursday reduced the sentence of the semi-truck driver convicted of killing 4 people in the April 2019 explosive crash on Interstate 70. Polis granted he granted it to him. What's his name? Roger Aguilera Maduris, reducing his sentence from 110 years to 10 years. 10 years.
Wow.
10 years.
Wow.
10 years.
10 years.
110. God was on his side, I'm telling you.
Man.
To 10 years.
But you know what, though?
What's that?
I'm going to tell you. Again, you got to look at the examples of success, right? When he got convicted of 110 years.
Oh my God!
And I had said, like, if it was, I was talking to my sister about this. I was saying that first, give a little bit of the backstory so people can understand
what actually happened.
Yeah, right. A little bit of the back. Talk about that a little bit, right?
So, he was convicted on October 15th. Well, on most of the counts, 42 counts he faced, including 4 counts of the vehicle homicide, first-degree assault, attempted first-degree assault, reckless driving, and careless driving. Now he mentioned, why he was in court. He did not mean to do it. I don't think he was under any alcohol or drugs or anything. He said it was not intentional. And I think he said he was speeding. 28 vehicles, including 4 semi-trucks, were damaged and caught on fire in the wake of this fiery crash. And he was going 85 miles an hour just before the crash. And of course, 4 people died, whatever. And 2 sustained serious bodily injury. So, and he cried his poor heart out and said, I did not intentionally do it. I'm sorry. And then they just slammed 110 years on him just like that.
Dude,
like, how could that be?
Like, that is
like a murderer don't get that many. I mean, depending on the situation, but geez, he's a professional driver. He wasn't drinking, what under the influence of any drug or alcohol. He said he was speeding, and he was, and this is what happened. But 110 years, Dennis.
Look, I was looking at so with that situation right there. Okay, I was talking to my sister about it, and I was talking to some truck drivers, and everybody was like, "No, I mean, if it was," but I saw it. Like, I saw some of the footage of dudes speeding past people.
Okay, see, I didn't see the footage. I didn't see the footage.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
And then it was this. There's this. They had these ramps that if a truck is out of control,
okay,
it could go on the ramp and go up the hill, and it'll stop him from crashing into people. And he, instead of taking the off-road ramp that he should have took,
okay,
he stayed on the road while the brakes were going down, while the brakes had went out. And then he, then not only that, his brakes, it's a certain way that he was supposed to break the truck down. It was like all kind of safety stuff that he was supposed to do. Because I talked to different, I know a lot of different truck drivers.
So he was speeding, trying to slow down, or was he intentionally speeding?
The brakes went out.
Okay.
The brakes went out on the truck. It was out of control, right? Wow. But when a truck is out of control like that, there are certain protocols and safety things that you're supposed to do. Okay. Of course, when you're in that situation, who knows what you're going to do. Either way it go, when the truck, he couldn't control it, he ran into traffic and just ran into a bunch of people. And it was horrible. I was like, whoa, that was just so tragic.
Yeah.
4 people were killed. Okay. So they give the man 110 years. But I'm thinking to myself, like, if it was genuinely an accident, because accidents happen. Yeah. If he wasn't under the influence, if his license wasn't suspended.
Right. He's a professional truck driver.
If he wasn't a person who had like a jacked up driving record and all of that.
Yeah.
Why would you get this man 110 years?
Like he a doggone monster or something. Like.
And I just felt like it was more of a representation to say, I think it was more racial. It was racist because he killed white people. Wow. And he was an immigrant. Right. And they like, well, you didn't have to give, even though the governor has retracted this sentence, if it wouldn't have been an outcry from the people throughout the world, all the truck drivers, like the truck drivers was really, they was like going on strike about that.
Wow.
Everything.
Oh my God.
And they was really upset about that. Every truck driver I talked to was like, no, that's out of order. Oh. And then people just start writing to the governor and putting pressure on the system.
That's good.
And because all of those people came together, nobody don't even know this man except for his family.
Right.
People from all over the world started to outcry, at least all over the United States. Yeah. And especially all of the truck drivers, and put pressure on the system to the point where this man who had a 110-year sentence got his sentence reduced to 10 years.
Yes.
Which it should have just been 10 years in the first place.
To begin with, yeah.
But just imagine how many other people that got 110 years for something, but no one was there to cry for him.
Or advocate for him. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. All right, let's go back to our chatting. Portia said, I think that he should have gotten 50 years because he was going to have to pay for it anyway. He need to be out of jail, be able to pay for it. I guess the 10 years will allow him enough time to pay for it because he would be paying all of his life. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, you got to think about the fact that if you're a decent human being, you're distraught that you took
he was there 4 at that. Not only 1, but
You got to live with the fact that you didn't kill 4 people in the way that you killed them. Was so tragic.
Right.
And, then
definitely going to haunt him.
You got to go to sleep with that
That's
on your
right.
head.
It's going to haunt him. Yeah.
Then you can't, you going to prison and you're going to do some time. You're going to be away from your family. Your career is over with. You're never going to be able to drive again. You know, and I'm
Wow.
just wondering, like, well, I guess if you do 10 years, you automatically a felon now.
Wow.
You know, but I don't know. If it was a real accident, like a real accident,
Mm-hmm.
I still don't understand why he getting so much time. If he genuinely didn't
And
mean
didn't
to do
right,
it,
right.
and his truck genuinely malfunctioned,
Well,
which can happen because he's operating a machine.
it beats the heck out of 110 years. So 10 years is.
I agree. I agree.
You know, I'm sure he's
but
great.
technically, though, when you think about it, it's like, why would he even get that much time
Mm-hmm.
when he genuinely, his truck just malfunctioned and it ended up, equipment malfunctions all the time.
But was he going 85 miles per hour? So he was going 85 miles per hour before it happened, because you said that they showed on the video that he was speeding past cars anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So he was going 85 miles per hour trying to stop the truck. Is that what that was? Or what was the whole ordeal with that?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I think I have no idea why he was going at such a high rate of speed.
Right. Like, did he start off, like when he got off and got on the highway, did he start speeding right away and try, it's a whole lot included in that. So
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It is.
Mm-hmm.
But at least he's not going to be serving 110 years.
Yeah, right.
That's the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. He's
Definitely.
not going to be serving 110 years.
All right. In other news, well, Michael Jordan, Dennis, the man who killed Michael Jordan's father, gets his parole canceled.
What?
Did you hear about that? Yeah. The scheduled August 2024 parole for one of two men convicted in the murder of Michael Jordan's father nearly 3 decades ago has been canceled.
Mm-hmm.
The state post-release Supervision and Parole Commission had announced in 2020 that Larry M. Demery would be released as part of an agreement in which he would take part in a scholastic and vocational program designed to prepare him for life outside of prison. The initial release date was August 2023, but it was later pushed back by 12 months. And the commission said on Tuesday in a news release that Demery's agreement has been terminated, effective immediately, given no reason. And the release said that Demery, who is serving a life sentence for first-degree murder of James Jordan in 1993, will be reviewed again for parole in or about December 15, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it has been canceled.
Really? So his parole has been canceled, meaning that he's not going to get parole.
That he's not going to get parole.
Yeah.
It's been canceled. Yeah.
How long was he in jail?
He's been in for about 3 decades now. It's been what, 81, something like that. Something like that. Yeah.
That's when Michael Jordan's father was killed.
In the 80s, early 90s, something like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
3 decades, 30 years.
Yeah. So
I would never want him to get out if it was my father.
Yeah.
Right? Especially the way he killed him for no reason. Like,
right.
He don't deserve no parole.
His father was sitting on the side of the road or something, and he was killed. Then,
I mean, it was a lot of different
stories.
Yeah,
Okay.
stories about it, but
yeah, 93. He was in his red Lexus, and he was napping alongside of U.S. Highway 74 near Interstate 95 in Lumberton, and it was a robbery. So,
so was it a Russian dude?
No,
it was a black dude.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it the Russian dude that
killed
Serena?
It was a black old guy.
Sister.
Yeah, it was a black old guy. So
yeah,
mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm kind of torn with that. Like I said, if it was my father, I wouldn't want to see you getting out of jail. So, and that's probably why they canceled his parole, because it's like, that's Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all he got to do is go do a victim impact statement. Like, because before you get parole, you got to go before the board of people.
Right.
And people go, he ain't getting out no time soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, all right, 2:00 p.m. on the nose. We got 1 hour left to go in the home stretch. All right, y'all, keep it locked to the Solar City Gospel Radio Show. We have more to come. We're gonna come back with sports. All right, keep it here. And we're back on the Soul of the City Gospel Radio Show. And if you are listening to our mobile app while you're listening to Brent Jones, will open up your mouth and say something. Thank you all so much for tuning in with us throughout the show. We've been on since 12 o'clock, rocking and rolling, and praying that you are enjoying the show. And if you are, feel free to comment in our chat box that we're looking on right here. We can shout you out, all right? If you want to be a part of the show, feel free to email us at hdradio21@gmail.com. That's hdradio21@gmail.com. Don't forget to become our friend, all right, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and TikTok. I still have yet to learn TikTok. Please forgive me, y'all, all right? But we are on there at HD Higher Dimension Radio. It's HD Higher Dimension Radio, all right? We also are on live right now on Facebook, facebook.com. Become our friend there. And we are live on YouTube as well. Simply type in Soul of the City Gospel Radio Show. All right, Dennis. Oh, we have more news.
Yeah.
So we were just speaking about Michael Jordan's father, how they canceled his parole. He's been in prison for over 3 decades now, of course, for shooting and killing his father back in 93. And we have another story here, y'all. How this black man was sentenced to, we need a drum roll on this one, Dennis. That was the most terrible. My nephew could have did better than that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
This black man was sentenced to 1,823 years. Why?
Say it again.
1,823 years.
So look.
Why? Tell us why.
Let's talk about this, right? So I'm going back. I thought about this story because when we looked at the 110-year sentence.
Yes.
For the dude. Again, I've done a lot of work around the area of the mass incarceration of black men and men of color,
and also working hand in hand within the correctional system as well.
Yeah, I've worked in I've worked in the correctional institutions. I've been in Green Bay. I've been to Wall Pond.
Wait, this is not behind the bars. This was outside. Oh, okay.
No. Did I ever been? No, I never been to prison.
Oh, good. Wait. Let's slow this thing down now.
No,
okay.
I never been to prison.
You had to think about that.
But I have been to the county and to the house correction.
Right.
So I've spent time. I've been incarcerated.
Yes.
More than enough time.
But not to prison. Jail and prison, 2 different things, but not prison. Okay.
But if anybody know anything, the county and the house corrections is worse than prison.
So yeah, you did tell me that you'd rather, people would say they would rather be in prison than in jail.
Yeah.
Like, what is the difference?
People go to jail. If people go to jail and go right to prison,
right?
They be like, "Get me out of here, send me to prison."
Like, really?
That's how bad the county jail is.
Really?
The county jail is so bad.
Oh my God.
That people be like, "Look, I'll take a plea deal right now.
Wow.
Get me out of here."
What's so bad about it? Tell us really quick before we go into this story.
It's the worst. It's the worst. It's just the worst.
Okay.
You won't get no fresh air.
Okay.
The food is just like, I can't even explain. It's just like if somebody just took a dump on a plate and fed it to you. You gotta wear the same. You gotta wear the underwear you gotta wear. It's just ridiculous. You wear 1 million people that had these underwear.
Oh wow.
You can only have like 1 pair of underwear.
Wow. Okay.
If you get caught with 2 pair of underwears, you go to the hole.
Wow.
You can't. You sleep on a concrete bed, of course. Okay. With a little thin mattress. Then it's like, imagine being in the bathroom for like 2 years, or you know what I'm saying, spending a year of your life living in the bathroom with somebody else.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything you do, somebody else. It's just the worst. Somebody go to the bathroom, you got to sit there and look at it.
Right. As for prison, it's a whole nother society.
Prison, you got more freedom in prison.
Okay.
Because you can go to work, you
literally
can go outside, you can exercise. Yeah. You can go to classes, you can go to programming, training, you can make money. You know what I'm saying? You can do a lot more things in prison.
Okay.
And the county is designed to break you.
Oh, wow.
The county is designed to make you say, I can't take it no more.
Can't take it no more.
That's why people take plea deals.
Yeah.
And they lie on themselves. People will take a plea deal for something they ain't even do.
Okay.
Just because they be to spend 2-3 days in the county or 5 days in the county, a month. You spend 30 days in the county.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Well,
you're gonna get broke down.
Well, this man is getting ready to spend 1,000 823 years in prison.
No, he's not.
I know. I was just setting it up.
Okay.
You don't know radio. I was just setting it up. I was setting it up for you. But of course, he was pardoned from the governor. But if you could explain to us what actually happened.
So check this out, right? This story caught my eye last week when I was looking at the 110-year sentence.
Yeah.
So it's this guy from Hampton, Virginia, right? His name is Lawrence Stevens. Says Lawrence Stevens was a homeless restaurant worker and only 18 years old in 2001 when he and several others pulled off a home invasion robbery in the Seaford section of York County. According to his attorney, no shots were fired and no one was injured, okay? The Hampton man and several others were arrested and tried in circuit court, but the sentence York Country judge.
County Circuit Court judge?
No, it says, but the sentence York Country, say country, but county judge.
Okay.
Prentice Smiley Jr. handed down to Stevens the 5 sentencing guidelines by hundreds of years, right? So the judge gave this man a sentence that was way beyond the sentence guideline.
And he's a teenager.
He was a teenager.
Yeah, right.
Nobody got hurt, nobody got injured.
Right.
So they said, and then this is what I also hate. These judges be for all these years giving black people 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years and burying black people under the jail, and then don't nobody hold them accountable to it until they retire or dead. Yeah. So according to Daily Press, Smiley retired from the bench and died in 2008. In 1998, he presided over the capital murder trial of Daryl Atkins. The outcome led to the U.S. Supreme Court ruling in 2002, which bars executions of those with intellectual disabilities. This year, Galen Canton, president of the Hampton NAACP, brought in attorney Rebecca Wynn, the legal redress chair, to investigate and file a petition for a conditional pardon. The Stevens case is just one case of the civil rights groups on the civil rights groups radar. They talking about racism. Let me get to the story. Okay. Racism is not a level playing field. We still have many inmates in the same situation, said Canton. In the petition, Wynn revealed inadequate representation from the prosecution and the defense, she wrote. I was especially alarmed to read that the prosecutor was not even sure of the full scope of the role that Mr. Stevens played during the acts in question, apart from the role played by his co-defendants. Additionally, Wynn said the court-appointed attorney who represented Stevens was later found guilty of failing to properly represent his client. He actually eventually was convicted by the Virginia State Bar Disciplinary Board for his unethical conduct and his representation of Mr. Stevens, meaning that his own public defender misrepresented him, right? So Wynn says, for example, the white mastermind of the crime, Paul Melendres, got 10 years. 17-year-old Darnell Nolan, who is black, got 35 years. 35 years. And Stevens got Stevens got an off-the-chart sentence of 1,823 years in prison.
So wait, 2 black and 1 white.
The white guy, right? He got 10 years.
Right, but Lawrence Stephens is black.
The other black guy got 35 years.
And Lawrence got
1,823 years, right? Under sentencing guidelines, said when Stevens should have been sentenced to 13 years in prison. Now, how do you give a man 1,823 years in prison? Do you know how sick and racist you have to be? That's far beyond. Convict a person
far beyond
who's supposed to get a 13-year sentence, and you give them 1,820. Let me repeat: 1,823 years in prison, and you only supposed to get a 13-year sentence. The petition for a pardon was filed in September, and last Friday, after 19 years behind bars, Stevens learned Governor Ralph Northam issued a conditional pardon. Yeah. He will be a free man in 30 to 60 days, right? Wow. Kenton and Wynn say They will continue to fight the system of mass incarceration of brown and black men.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, as long as we have judges that are going to sit on the bench and wrongly sentence people, depending on their race, to sentence them to unjustly years to be in prison, we have to keep on fighting, Candace said. The petition for conditional pardon was provided to 10 on your side, and details were where attorney felt the court erred in its sentence for Stevens, as well as his plans for re-entry into society if he's released from prison. Also discussed how Stevens' original attorney was reprimanded by the state bar. But
how do you misrepresent somebody to that degree?
Yeah,
to get you 1,000 years in prison?
Dude,
like
how do your attorney miss that?
Right, that's what I'm saying. How do you misrepresent somebody like that?
How do your attorney miss that?
Yeah.
The man, y'all can look this story up. Lawrence Stevens.
Oh, God.
The man was convicted of 1,800 years for an armed robbery, home invasion. The same white guy.
No one was killed. No one was injured.
The same white guy who masterminded.
Right.
He was given 10 years.
He should have got more, shouldn't he?
The white guy set up the whole
right.
And everything.
Absolutely.
This man was a homeless restaurant worker. He should have got something. They didn't kill anybody. They didn't hurt anybody. They went in the house. It basically was a burglary.
Wait a minute. And Paul Melendez, the one that set it up, was 29.
Right.
Darnell Nolan was
18.
right. Darnell Nolan that was they got 35 years was 17, and Lawrence was 18.
Exactly.
So he got the most out of his. Yeah, that's
1,800 years. But okay, so this is my point. We were bringing this story in.
Mm-hmm.
So we were just talking about how the judge sat there and gave the guy who did the accident 110 years, right?
Yeah.
We're looking at this situation to where the judge gave this man 1,823 years on a sentence where he should have only had 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest issues that we challenge with when it comes to the issue of mass incarceration in our community is these judges. You got judges that's the worst people you could ever imagine, that's sitting on the bench, that's handing down sentences to people that's way out of order. And then the judges act like they above reproach. You know, and a lot of the judges got mental health issues. They on drugs,
depression,
every kind of sick situation. A lot of them come from old racist families and background, and then they sitting there governing over the judicial system.
Tawana said the judge knew that attorney was not representing that kid and knew he would not appeal the ruling.
1,823 years.
Outrageous.
How you don't appeal?
Outrageous.
And then talk about the bar. No, you just sat here. Now this man, he did 20 years, 19 years.
All right, 19.
So he did probably 7 more years than he should have done.
Right.
Fortunately, by the grace of God, whatever they NAACP doing down there, I take
they
my
doing
hat
a
off
great job.
Because our NAACP ain't doing nothing around here. We probably got the worst NAACP in the nation. We gotta have the worst NAACP in the nation because we got the worst situation for black people in the nation.
That's right.
So that's a reflection of your leadership and your organization. But that NAACP down there, you gotta take.
They fought for him. That's right. But it says under sentencing guidelines.
Yeah, he was only supposed to get
13 years.
13 years. But okay, think about how wicked you have to be to take an 18-year-old person and say, we are going to give you 1,823 years.
They said, Dennis, do you think he'll get compensated at all for the extra years?
No,
why not?
No, because he won't. I mean, because first he was actually guilty of the crime.
Right. But he was
just over sentenced. Now, if he wasn't guilty of the crime and then he served all that time, then he would be owed compensation. But because he was actually convicted of a crime that he committed, they're not going to give him compensation for that.
But how are you over how are you over, not overcharged, but how are you over in terms of him serving 7 more years? He's only supposed to serve 13.
Yeah.
He served 19.
Right. But
so
you're not
how
gonna
did
get
they
compensated for that? He's just lucky that.
Why did he serve 19? I don't understand.
He wasn't Soraya. Let's pay attention.
Right. I'm looking at the story.
Listen.
Okay.
The man was convicted of 1,800 years.
I get it.
He did 19 years on an 1,800 year sentence.
I get that.
So he just got lucky. Now, technically, if he would have been sentenced correctly, he was only supposed to get 13 years.
All right.
But again, he was not sentenced correctly. He was sentenced to 1,823 years. And he did 19 years on an 1,800-year sentence.
Okay.
And by the grace of God,
Mm-hmm.
the NAACP saw the injustice within his situation, advocated for him, and got him free. But if they wouldn't have got him free, he was on his way to do 1,800 years. I mean, of course, he ain't gonna live to be 1,800
Yeah, I get
years old.
that. Yeah.
But he would have that sentence would have been what he would have had to serve. He would have just died in prison. So thank God for the NAACP. Like, well, okay, so but the larger point is that how many other men, black men in our community have been sentenced to hundreds and hundreds of years,
Yeah.
or given 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80-year sentences. Man, my brother was my brother was convicted of a sentence. They gave him 30 years, right? He did 20 years off of the 30 years, right? And that's only because they figured out that he was over sentenced. But he was given 30 years because an informant. Now, okay, let me back it up a little bit. My brother was living in Milwaukee. He had moved from Milwaukee. He had moved from Indiana to Milwaukee. He was in Milwaukee. He had previously got charged with a crime. He ended up beating that case, right? He was found not guilty in the case. So what happened is that the prosecutor was so mad that he had beat the case that they went and made up a case and put a warrant out for him after he left the city. He didn't even know that they had this warrant out for him, right? So my brother's living in Milwaukee. He's probably here for like 5 or 6 years after he had gotten found not guilty for the previous case. He's on his way to work in the morning. The police pull him over. All of a sudden he see that he got a warrant for him in Indiana. He been here for 6 years. They extradite him. They extradite my brother back to Indiana after being they extradite my brother back to Indiana after being in Milwaukee for 6 years after he got found not guilty for a previous crime.
Right.
They brought him up on new charges. They had an informant come out of nowhere and say that my brother set up a drug transaction.
And he didn't know about that.
He didn't even know about it.
Right.
He said that my brother set up a drug transaction to where he went to the graveyard and bought 3.5 grams of cocaine from another individual. Now follow me. He said that my brother set up the drug deal to where he went to the graveyard, met somebody else, and bought 3.5 grams of cocaine, which in street that's an 8-ball. Right. It's a small 3.5 grams.
Okay.
Make a long story short, they found my brother guilty of this after he had been in Milwaukee working, doing all of this, got found not guilty for the previous crime. He gets extradited back. They pull up an informant out of nowhere who testifies that my brother set up a transaction for him to purchase cocaine in a graveyard from somebody else for 3.5 grams. He gets found guilty. So now it's sentencing time, right? Okay. 3.5 grams is really like possession. It's really nothing when it comes to cocaine, right? Or drugs. It's really absolutely nothing. It's literally this much. It's absolutely nothing. So we get to sentencing, right? I'm in Goshen, Indiana. In the courtroom, I'm watching. First of all, I'm in there with all Amish people, right? The Amish people that's dressed in black with the hats and all of that, right? Somebody had ran over one of their people because they be riding in horses and buggies or whatever, right? So somebody had ran over and killed the people. So all the Amish people turns out. Now I'm in this white town with all these Amish people in Goshen, Indiana, with about 1,000 Amish people in the building. This is the spookiest scene I ever encountered, right? So after they sentenced the dude who ran over the Amish person, a white guy goes up before the judge. And the white guy killed his mother. Right?
How much time did he get?
Check this out. The white boy killed his mother. He was high on drugs. His mother wouldn't give him no money for no drugs.
Right.
And he killed his mother.
Okay.
The judge says to him, he says, you know what? Even though you committed this heinous crime, you know, and you've done a bad thing in our society. He's like, you know, I'm gonna have some sympathy for you because you're a sick person, you know, and I'm gonna hope that one day you change your life and you get it on track. But you're sentenced to 13 years. He gave him like 13 years
for killing his mother.
For killing his mother.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 13 or 15. It wasn't more than 15 years.
Okay.
I want to say it was 13, but it was no more than 15 years that the judge gave this man for killing his mother while he was high on drugs. So, next thing you know, after that, my brother comes up, right? The judge looks at my brother. He said, people like you are the reason why people like him do the things that he do. So I'm just going to give you the maximum
30 years.
30 years.
Wow.
And my brother was locked up right there. That was the worst experience of my life.
Wow.
It was a horrible experience. And then my brother did 20 years.
Okay.
I'm talking about 20 years of going to visit him in maximum security penitentiary
for an 8-ball.
For an 8-ball, not even for 8-ball, for an 8-ball that somebody else
pinned on him.
Right. He didn't even sell nothing. Somebody said that he set it up.
Right, and he was found guilty.
And he was found guilty for somebody else saying that he set up the drug transaction for them to purchase. 30 years. So now I got to go to prison with my mama for 20 years to like 3 different prisons in Indiana, watching my mama get searched and felt on, felt up, all of this kind of stuff, getting just totally humiliated coming through security in a maximum security prison. This is where he in Pendleton, he in the worst prisons. Right. He in like 2 or 3 different prisons at that. So we got to keep changing up, going to different prisons. So all because this man lied and said that my brother set up a drug transaction. That case supposed to have been dismissed.
Right. So it didn't go to trial. It was just a court. It did go to trial.
Look,
okay.
Not only did it go to trial, but in the trial, the jury was a hung jury. The jury didn't even convict my brother.
But what type of
The jury didn't even convict him.
I was just getting ready to ask the same question Tawana asked. What type of representation did your brother have?
Another prejudice cracker attorney.
Dennis.
From that, no, this is what he was. I ain't gonna say nothing nice about him.
Okay.
Dude sat there and played that role and was in alignment with the judges, and he didn't even represent my brother the correct way. But not only that, but at the same time, the jury was a hung jury. I had to get on stand and testify everything.
Okay.
My whole family had to get on stand and testify.
Right.
The jury was a hung jury. The jury sat there and they was like, this don't even make sense. This man been gone for 6 years. He living somewhere else. He got extradited. This man sitting up here talking about he set up this. It didn't even make sense. The jury was a hung jury. The judge still went and overruled the jury and convicted my brother of 30 years.
And he only served 20.
Only?
I mean, I'm just, you know, he served 20 years. He
served 20 years.
Oh, my God.
20 years. 20 years. My brother was gone for 20 years. Again, but Tawana, okay, look. Tawana said the hung jury is probably why the judge set the sentence. But if you got a hung jury, you're supposed to go back and either retry the case.
Yeah.
You don't just sit up here and just convict nobody in no 30.
He already had, that would have been his mind what he was going to sentence him.
The only reason why I'm bringing this up is because we've talking about this man who they tried to give 100. The judge gave this man 110 years.
The other one
for an accident.
Right.
Just so happened the governor commuted the sentence, right? This man was just given 1,823 years, right? Now people can go to these stories and say, okay, you can experience these circumstances through reading about other people. Only reason why I'm talking about my situation because I experienced it personally. My brother was given 30 years by a judge.
Please. I get it. I understand.
By a judge.
I understand. Yeah.
Do you know what that did to my family?
I'm sure. Yeah.
Do you know I had to listen to my mother cry and scream all the way back home from Indiana to Milwaukee?
My God.
That was the most tormenting situation
Saddest
ever.
Thing. Yeah.
It changed my whole life.
I'm sure.
It made me rebel. It made me go in. It made me just have no respect for authority for society.
For the law itself. Yeah.
So my point is that you got these judges that's on these benches who we got to address, and we got to start going after these judges. You got to remember, to be a judge is an elected position.
Yep, that's right.
And a lot of times we don't even vote for these judges. We just let these judges sit on these benches for all these years, giving our people 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years, 200 years, 300 years.
Yeah, unjustly.
And they some racist white people.
Unjustly years.
I'm being nice. They some racist people. They come from a racist lineage. The whole court system, and even the black judges, they sit up there and they follow suit just like a lot of the white people do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's like the judges, period, got to be held accountable.
That's right. Just got to keep fighting. All right. So on a brighter note, Dennis, there is a rehabilitation program in San Quentin, California called the Last Mile, and they offer prisoners free training on how to code. And this equips them with the training they need to get a job more easily once they are out of prison. And it says here at the Last Mile, they're using the technology to try and solve mass incarceration. And they have a software engineer who teaches computer coding to prisoners through remote communication. Now, those who finish the program, once released from prison, will be connected with tech companies such as Slack, Facebook, and even Google. And I guess one of the prisoners, the inmates himself, said that he was a product of the program, and he belongs to the almost 100 graduates who have been to zero. He was a part of the recidivism rate in the whole country. So hats off to that rehab program on giving those inmates a chance to get back to society to work with that program.
Yeah, I think that's excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I think anything that we can do to prepare these brothers to return home and help them to be effective in their life and be contributed to society in a positive way
for sure.
is a good thing.
That's right.
But again, though, we got to look at, see, this is the bad thing. And like Tawana just asked, how is it impacting my brother's perspective? Like like my brother cool, but at the same time, he went to jail when he was like 36 years old.
Right.
That was it. He was in his prime.
Prime of his life.
He didn't come home till he was like 50 something years old. Now my brother like 60 something years old.
Right.
It just set him back so far.
This is the brother. He still resides in Indiana. Is this the brother?
Yeah, he lives in Indiana
okay.
right now.
Right.
Yeah. I got a lot of family in Indiana.
Okay. Yeah.
I hate Indiana. But I got a lot of family in Indiana.
Okay.
But it just set his mind set back. And the thing is that if you illegally done something and you've done a crime, I believe you should go to jail. You get caught, you should go to jail. But you should be given the proper sentence. No, we can't have a lawless.
You should be represented right. First off,
we can't have a lawless society where there's no consequence behind your act. If you get caught, you go to jail.
Yes.
That's just the bottom line.
You do the crime, yeah.
But when you unjustly incarcerate people and destroy people's families, they mothers, they brothers, they sisters, they children, they cousins, they children. You ain't just hurting that person, you hurting all of those people, right? Then when a person go to prison, do you know that when you go to prison, you're around the worst people in society?
Yeah.
So you might go to prison and get raped. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just say you there and you ain't even did nothing, but you got convicted of all this time. Day one, you come in and somebody beat you up and rape you. After you get out after 15 years, 20 years, you're not going to be the same.
Right.
You're not going to be the same.
Or even die in prison for that matter as well, too.
But I'd rather be dead than raped. You know what I'm saying? Just to sit up there and just have to think about somebody violating you like that over and over again. Now you got to live with that. And then when you get back out here into society, like a lot of brothers, we were just talking about Chad, who was a person who had been incarcerated for a long time.
Yes.
And look at how he ended up dying. Once you start to have the experiences of watching people get killed, even if it don't happen to you, you can watch somebody, you hear somebody screaming because they're getting raped all night. Or you see somebody just get stabbed to death, stabbed in the face and all in the head and all this kind of stuff.
Yes.
Now,
that's true.
It don't even have to happen to you, let alone if it do happen to you.
Right.
And you in prison and you ain't even done anything. your whole life has changed. Now
That's
you're
right.
a whole different person because you watch somebody get raped, you watch somebody get killed, or you got raped, you got killed, or you got abused in some kind of way.
Traumatized.
Plus, they already treating you like you trash.
That
you
already.
lost your freedom.
Right.
You missing your children. You missing your family. And that's why I say that we got to start looking at these judges because they be out of order. I'm going through a court situation right now with a judge, the commissioners and the judges. They just not handling things right.
Okay.
And this is over my child.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, this stuff is way more serious than what we give it. And a lot of times when you out of sight, you out of mind. So when you in prison or you incarcerated, ain't nobody really thinking about you.
I couldn't imagine.
I got a brother right now that's doing 47 years because he was accused of rape and he didn't do it.
Yeah.
Right now. 47 years. So anyway, you know, again,
that's a lot.
The way to address it, though, the way to address it is that we have to start looking at these judges and hold them accountable. And the judges, they sit up there like they just don't do no wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think a couple of judges just got charged for child porn.
Man, a lot of them be charged with child porn.
Less than over a week ago, a judge was like, what did they?
A lot of them, they know they be behind the scenes doing some of the worst
crazy stuff. They need the one to be charged 1,000 years.
Right. It's a way. My point is that it's one thing to talk about the problem, complain about the problem, raise awareness about the problem, but what's the solution to the problem?
Yeah,
you got to do all of those things. You got to talk about it, you got to complain about it, you got to raise awareness,
but you got to do something about it. Yep.
And the solution is that we have to start identifying the elections when judges are running, and we have to run our own judges to get on the bench so that people can get fair sentences.
Right. Do your research too when it comes to voting for these judges.
Then you got some judges that's letting people out that they shouldn't let out, and you got other judges just putting people in that they shouldn't put in. Yeah. As a community, we got to have a better. We got to have a better level of watching.
That's right.
What judges do.
Sure.
We have to pay closer attention to what judges are doing.
All right. In other news, Dennis, not sure if you heard about the Mall of America shooting on New Year's Eve.
They started shooting them all over.
Yeah, New Year's Eve. Bloomington police said an altercation between two men ended in a shooting that injured two people and temporarily locked down the Mall of America Friday evening. Deputy Chief Kim Clausen said about 5:00 p.m., the officer heard one shot fired on the third floor of the mall. The officer found one man shot in the leg, another grazed by a bullet. Officers quickly contained the scene and rendered aid as mall security initiated lockdown protocols. Oh my God. Police said the man was transported, of course, to the hospital where he's expected to survive from his injuries. And the person that was grazed by the bullet, who police say was a bystander near the altercation, was treated at the scene and released. So
that's crazy.
New Year's Eve,
That's too much, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
man.
All this.
Can you imagine going to a mall just like here, Mayfield Mall? I mean, I think the mall in Illinois, Oak Brook Mall, and also the store in California where the 14-year-old girl was shot by police. Yeah, that's
was she like in the dressing room?
She was getting dressed. I mean, trying on an outfit.
So a dude was attacked. Just to give a little backstory,
yes,
a guy was attacking another guy with like a metal pole or something like that. The police come in. He wasn't even hitting the guy when they came in.
Right.
And just started shooting the man and shot the little girl in the dressing room.
Burlington store.
That's crazy.
14 years old.
You said what store?
Burlington.
It was in Burlington?
Burlington, in California.
I was just in Burlington the other day.
Were you?
Nah, what?
Yeah.
Well, I look like I'm in with my son. I'm in Burlington with my son.
Yeah. Just don't know.
Now just imagine it. I'm in Burlington with my son and the police just start shooting it and kill my son.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
So they're ranting and raving about that now to see if the officer is going to be charged for.
He should be charged.
Yeah, because they was trying to shoot the
suspect. They killed the man.
I know they killed the suspect, but they also killed the girl too. So they trying to. Again, here we go again.
What that go to?
Yeah.
A lot of times, officers are under a law called qualified immunity.
Yeah.
And they aren't able to be held accountable for their actions.
Yeah.
Which is something that, with all the George Floyd stuff that was supposed to be going on, and with Joe Biden, with all the Democratic stuff they was talking about.
Here we go.
That was one of the first things that was supposed to be addressed when we talk about incarceration and bringing equity and balance to the justice system
That's
is ending qualified immunity for police officers.
Wow.
Because you should not be able to just kill somebody and not be held to no consequence.
That's right.
Just like my friend.
I
They just tried
agree.
to wipe his situation. They shot him in the stomach.
Mm.
My friend, they shot him. His name is Tyree Davis.
Mhm.
Y'all might have heard about it. He's been on the news.
Mm-hmm.
But they shot this man. They was chasing another young man. The police tried to shoot the man in the back. He tripped and fell. When he tripped and fell, the police shot and missed him and then shot Tyree. Center mass, almost killed a man.
Is this the one where they busted up in his house?
Yeah.
They shot him in his house.
They shot him in his house.
In his house.
In his house. Actually, I'm going to see if I can do it. We can get an interview with him because I have footage.
Thank God he lived.
I got to take.
So wait a minute. So the police officer was chasing another person. He falls to the ground. The police didn't see the guy fall to the ground?
Look, so it was really his son-in-law, right?
The police?
No.
The guy.
Tyree Davis.
Tyree Davis,
his son-in-law.
Okay.
He was running from the police because the police had previously beat him up and broke his arm.
Okay.
His arm is like disfigured right now.
Okay.
So the police had stumped him out for something minor, like they just had abused him. So he was just scared of the police.
Right.
So dude, when they pull him over, he afraid.
Mm-hmm.
And what he's doing is that he's like riding around the neighborhood, blowing the horn so that everybody could come out because he don't want to pull over in no dark place and get jumped by the police again. So when he parked, finally he parked the car and just take off running because he's afraid.
Yeah.
He run into the house. Just so happened, Tyree is coming out the back door while dude is trying to run
towards him
to the house.
Right.
When the kid goes to the house, Tariq opens the door, he falls. He's running full speed. He falls through the door.
Yeah.
When he falls right before he falls through the door, the police tried to shoot him in the back.
Oh my God.
He trips and falls, and the police end up shooting Tyree.
So the son-in-law didn't get shot, but Tyree got shot. So where is this all going now? Is he still he's still fighting?
Right now, they try to do everything they could to
so
sweep it under the rug.
So the police has not been charged?
Not yet.
That's been 16. That's been 4 years ago.
The police was actually the police who did it was fired.
Right, he was fired, but he wasn't charged.
No, he wasn't charged.
That was 4 years ago.
But if he was fired, why wasn't he charged?
Right.
Again, it goes back to qualified immunity.
Yeah.
And then the police lied so quick. Like, I got the tape. Okay. I'm telling you. After he shot and almost shot the boy in the back and killed him and then shot the wrong person, the first thing he said is, he was reaching for something.
First thing he said.
This man running forward.
That makes sense.
He running away from you.
Yeah, right.
He reaching for something and he running away from you.
Right.
How is he reaching for something and he's running through a door?
Oh my God.
And then you try to shoot him in the back. So all of this type of stuff is real. It's real. It's something that we got to keep our eyes on. I'm gonna actually see if I can get Tyree to do an interview with us about this.
That would be good.
He's been having some progress on the situation.
Yes. Well, I hope he wins. Whatever. I mean.
But it's bigger.
Depending on who's representing him, I hope he wins.
From the issues with the police.
Yeah.
With this qualified immunity. The issues with the judges just over sentencing people. And then also
that's outrageous,
and then also with our citizens having to be more responsible as well. Because you got some people who are truly some criminals, and you can't just fault the police or fault the judges. You got to look at every element of it.
Every aspect of the game. Yep, I agree. 43 minutes after the hour of 2:00 p.m. We have about 17 minutes to go. And yes, we are. In other news, all right, let's get into sports, Dennis. Let's get into some sports.
I'm all about the sports.
All about the sports. So the Packers won yesterday.
Yeah.
All right.
They didn't win.
They didn't win?
They kicked their butt.
You scared me. Whew. Wait a minute.
They stumped them out.
They won.
They stumped them out.
No bets, right?
No, I didn't bet. I bet on the Super Bowl.
Oh my.
I got $250 on the Super Bowl.
You better report to work the next day. I tell you, if you lose the Super Bowl, you better report to work on the next day.
I got $250 on the Super Bowl. That the Packers win.
Okay.
Anybody can take that bet right now. Right now, I'm going right now.
250. Going once, going twice. 25, 55, 75. So, all right. So they won. What did they win by, Dennis?
It was, I don't know. I think the Vikings had 3 and the Packers had 37.
30. Oh my God, yeah, they did get stomped.
Was it? You got the
I
score
think
up
it's
there?
37-3. 37-3. Yep, something like that.
They got
all right.
Kicked.
So the day before the Bucks.
You know but do you know what that means?
What's that?
So that means that the Packers are the NFC champions.
Until
ain't no until nothing.
Okay.
We are the NFC champions, and we are number 1 in our division. And I mean that everything, all the playoffs, everything got to run through Lambeau Field.
That's what's up. Oh, home court advantage.
Everything got to run
Okay.
through Lambeau Field.
That's what's up.
To get to the Super Bowl.
Okay. So that means the Super Bowl is going to take place at Lambeau Field.
No, it don't mean that.
Oh, I just
It means that the playoffs. It means that during the playoffs.
Okay.
Everybody got to come see us.
Okay.
I mean, they got to
come. We see it. Come see.
They got to come. They got to come to the frozen tundra.
Oh wow. Well,
yeah.
There's more COVID for you. All right. So again, the day before that, the Bucks, they defeated the Pelicans. Yeah. Giannis had 35 points, 16 rebounds, and 10 assists for his second triple-double of the season. And the Milwaukee Bucks won their 6th straight game, beating the New Orleans Pelicans 136-113 on Saturday night.
Yeah, they was you said what was the score again?
136-113 on Saturday night.
36-113.
Man, yeah, they did.
How many points?
Triple double, 35 points. Yeah.
Giannis killing. I'll put my money on the Bucks too.
Oh, you ain't got no money. How you gonna do all these bets? No such thing as betting.
Hey, I bet the Bucks win too.
Okay.
The Bucks gonna repeat.
Yeah.
And the Packers is gonna win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And then the Brewers gonna win the World Series.
That's a lot of bets.
That's my prediction.
That's a lot of bets. Also, the Wisconsin Badgers beats Arizona State in the Las Vegas Bowl on last week as well too. So Wisconsin's on the roll, y'all. On the side of slaw. I'm trying to tell you. That's what's up. 47 minutes after 2:00 p.m. Hush, Dennis. Whatever. Yeah. So, way to go, the Milwaukee Bucks and Green Bay Packers. So we'll see if Dennis can win these bets so he can pay my money back.
As long as I owe you.
I never go broke.
Never be broke.
Yeah. Oh, Dennis, you gotta check this out, right? A wild police chase come to an end after OnStar remotely shuts down the truck. Did you hear about that? A 6-hour police chase through Southern California ended after an OnStar was able to remotely shut down the suspect's truck.
They didn't figure that out till 6 hours later.
6 hours later. Come on. All right. So the wild chase started when an officer with the police department there tried to pull over Roberto Salgado, 39, who was wanted in connection with the homicide that happened earlier that day. Now, instead of pulling over, Salgado fled in his 2018 Chevrolet Silverado pickup truck. He managed to evade officers for nearly 6 hours, driving from Escondido, sorry, this is going viral, to Oceanside and then back to Escondido. At one point during the chase, deputies deployed strike strips, but that did not stop him. Eventually, officials learned that Salgado's truck was equipped with OnStar, an in-vehicle safety and security system. We all know. They contacted the company and were able to remotely disable the vehicle.
Dude, I mean,
when his truck came to a stop, he exited his vehicle very quietly and opened fire on the officers, striking one of them in his bulletproof vest. The officers returned fire, striking Salgado. He was rushed to the hospital and he was pronounced deceased.
Oh my God, that's tragic.
Officials say that Salgado was suspected of killing a 42-year-old Florencio Rodriguez in his driveway, while investigators are still trying to determine a motive for the killing. They said Rodriguez was the husband of Salgado's ex-girlfriend's sister. Hold on. I know. I said, hold on. Salgado. Let me read this over. Officials say that Salgado was suspected of killing 42-year-old Florencio Rodriguez in his driveway. While investigators are still trying to determine a motive for the killing, they said that Rodriguez that he killed was the husband of Salgado's ex-girlfriend's sister.
Okay, that's too much.
Fatal Attraction.
Jesus.
I'm still trying to get it.
Hey, man, that's a lot.
Yes.
Anyway, they smoked him.
They got him.
But
After 6 hours.
Yeah, but I'm like,
yeah.
Tawana said it must have been a hybrid. He must have been driving a hybrid.
What she said on the seat? Oh.
Yeah, because that makes sense. Like, how you drive a car for 6 hours and don't run out of gas.
And then how did you just discover, oh, let's try OnStar. Let's call the company to see.
So after 6 hours, you should need some more gas.
Come on. Right.
But she said it wasn't
a killer car, a small car.
She said it wasn't a
right. So
it's like after 6 hours of this man riding through the city on a high-speed chase,
6 hours,
endangering the public safety, then you just happen to get the bright idea.
6 hours.
I wonder if he got OnStar.
Yeah. Bing. And in California, police, they be on you. I mean, I be watching police chases all the time because they normally T-bone you. Like they said,
I wonder if you get. I got OnStar. Let's try this 6 hours later.
10-4. Let's try OnStar. Boom. There we go.
Police.
And now they killed the man. So, but there you have it.
Okay.
I didn't want to end the show on that note, but there you have it. I did. All right. So on a brighter note, happy birthday to those that are celebrating birthdays on today. And Mel Gibson, I believe he turned like 69 today, I believe. Yeah, happy birthday to him, Mel Gibson, in the entertainment world. But if you're celebrating a birthday on today, we celebrate with you. My friend Tori, organ player Tori. Tori, happy birthday to you, bro. That's it for today that I see. Yeah, that's it for today.
Wasn't Kyle Rittenhouse birthday today?
Oh, your boy, Kyle Rittenhouse. His birthday today.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
He turned 19 today.
He turned 19 serial killer.
Stop it. That's what you love about him.
Hey, I know you better not run up on him while you got no gun.
He ain't gonna do that no more.
Shoot.
He ain't gonna do it no more.
I wouldn't try. Say I ain't no killer, but don't push.
Happy birthday to those who are celebrating birthdays on today and anniversaries as well. My cousin Edward. Yes, and his wife, his beloved wife, Keisha, they celebrated 11 years of love yesterday. Oh, wow. Happy anniversary. 11 years, Dennis. I can't be around you for 11 minutes. Yeah. I don't know how. Oh, my God.
That's why I'm not married.
11 years. Jeez. Whew.
You've been around me for 9 years, getting on my nerves.
Oh, no, I'm knocking on 11. Oh.
I'm knocking on 11 years that you've been with me.
I'll reword that right now. Reword that.
9 years we've been in a relationship.
Reword that right now before this YouTube clip goes viral. This is not, don't believe him. We are in a great friend. Dennis, you know, you are my good friend.
I am.
I'll just to say the least. You have been a great friend.
I sure have.
You don't have to. You don't have to boast like that. No boasting.
No, I mean,
no bragging.
About
you don't have to do all of that. Okay.
Okay.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. You just bored it. You just. Yeah, I was getting ready to get emotional. You know, like. Like, no, never mind. TJ, don't laugh at him.
Come on, say it.
So you got my CBFF laughing.
Look, it's New Year's. It's a New Year call.
It is.
Tell me how you really feel.
And I'm going to leave the old in 2021. I'm going to leave my feelings where they were in 2021 about you. Because, see, you just done messed up everything. Everything. But I do appreciate you. I really thank God for you. You know, some people, you know, is in your life for a season, reason, a lifetime. I don't know. You at that season mark right now. You know.
Season or lifetime.
You get on my nerves. So I think we're gonna be at that season mark. You barely made it, but you know.
Okay.
Whatever.
This feeling is very mutual.
Whatever.
You know, I'm gonna just leave it at that. It's mutual.
Whatever.
Love you too, Soraya. Happy to be in the new year with you.
Yes.
I'm very excited about all the great things that we have coming up and that that we have to look forward to with Soul of the City, the Higher Dimension Radio. Growing this audience, bringing more information, getting more guests, getting more broadcasts. Soraya, I thank you for just being committed the way that you have and just putting up with me, because I am not an easy person to put up with. That's why we can't be in a relationship.
No, we can't.
We'd have been had a fight.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you, you would have been that Ike in that limo right about now. I'm just telling you, because my brothers, they showed me how to fight. I know how to fight a man. So
and then you bigger than me too. I don't want no problems. Whoa. Oh, God.
You don't want no problem. No, that's right. My brothers, they showed me how to get down. I'm telling you, because I used to fight my brothers.
You like you could wrestle.
Don't worry about it. Hey, I'm telling you, I used to watch WWF every Saturday night with my brothers, all three of them.
You like a wrestler.
You got Joe. You gonna make me catch a case up in this studio. You gonna make me catch a case. That's all right.
No,
that's all right.
Smoke.
You don't want that smoke. It's gonna be some smoke in the city. It's gonna be some smoke in the city. I know how to body slam. My brothers taught me very well.
I can tell, man.
I'm trying to tell you. I don't
you
play. That's right. Strong and mighty. That's right. I can't stand your good. I can't stand
Happy New Year.
Whatever.
I love you.
I love you more, so much more. Yeah. All right. So again, if you want to be a guest on our show, feel free, y'all. Email us. You can be just like this on the platform, just like this. Yeah. Email us at hdradio21@gmail.com. And also, if you are a business, church, or ministry, you can do the same. Email us there, hdradio21@gmail.com. If you need graphic design done as well, we are a one-stop shop. Did y'all know that? We do everything from business cards to websites. We do it all in between. If you are a business, church, or ministry, want to advertise with us on HD Radio, again, you can phone us at 414-435-1125, 414-435-1125, or simply email us again at hdradio21@gmail.com.
So I'm gonna say this again too. Shout out to Dr. Carter. We're gonna be we are blessed that we're establishing a partnership with Dr. Carter and Hyatt Pharmacy.
That's right.
To where we're gonna be bringing Dr. Carter to you regularly.
For sure.
To give you all the health updates. We talk a lot about this COVID stuff, and everybody talking about what they believe and what they think. But we're gonna have an actual expert where we can dispel all the myths and get away from the thinking and believing and getting into knowing what we need to do. So I'm so looking forward. Dr. Carter is one of my idols, my icons. Anybody who knows me knows that I always have just, talk highly of Dr. Carter, just being a positive influence in my life for almost my entire life.
Okay.
So I'm so looking forward to having him on our show. He is definitely iconic individual in my life and in our community.
Okay.
So y'all can definitely be on the lookout for that coming up soon.
And also, speaking of health, we're also going to be still partnering with Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield as well.
Yeah.
All right. So there's going to be more to come. Also, along with different events around the city that's related to COVID-19. And again, just to become more informative and more educated and so on. All right. This concludes the Soul of the City Gospel Radio Show. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in with us. Join us on next Monday, if God say the same. Again, you can watch this again over and over again on our YouTube channel under Soul of the City Gospel Radio Show. Dennis, get out. Brother Dennis, where you been? I've been looking for you.
What's going on, Sister Soraya? You know I've been around.
Been around where?
Here, there, everywhere.
Guess what time it is,
What time is it?
It's time for the Soul of the City Gospel Radio Show.
I mean, what's that?
You know exactly what that is. Quit playing. It's our new radio show, sponsored by Higher Dimension Radio, hosted by me, yours truly, Sister Soraya, and you, Brother Dennis Walton.
Well, it's about time. I mean, you know the whole world been watching and ready for our return.
Well, we can let them know that the wait is over, because we're about to give them what they need and what they want, so you better be ready.
Ready for what, Sister Soraya?
Ready for news, information, stimulating conversation, great gospel music, and a whole lot more every magnificent Monday from noon until 3 p.m.
Well, that time has finally come, so you can start your week off with Soul of the City, the world's #1 gospel radio show, hosted by Sister Soraya and me, Brother Dennis Walton, sponsored by HD Radio, where you can imagine more.
Oh, and check us out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, and our website, hdmediagrp.com.
It's HD Radio, where you can imagine more.